All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. They pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that come from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, to whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Shalom, Quran, man. Shalom, Eric, man. Shalom, Margaret, man. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, but they also made without the word, be won by the conduct of the wives. While they behold your chaste conversation with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and wearing of gold and putting on of apparel, but let it be that hidden man of the heart in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet ruach, which is in the sight of Elohim of great price. For after this manner, in the old time, the Kadash women also, who trusted Elohim, adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Peace, brother Omar, man. Yes, sir. Shalom, brother Robert. Peace, Marvin, man. So, with that being said, come over here to Colossians 3 and 19. Hey, Nola. 3 and 18, actually. It says, wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. Now, here's one more individual who makes this statement. I just looked at it. It's clearly we're looking at Peter's making it. Hey, how you doing, Misha? What is it? Peter's making it. What is his name, man? I'll remember in a minute. Never the mess. Verse 19, husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. I want you to see, what does it mean to be not bitter against your wife? That Greek word here is picorino, and that is to make bitter, to produce a bitter taste in the stomach, to embitter, to exasperate, to be irritated, to visit with bitterness, to grieve. I'm trying to think, is there any example of anybody doing that? None that I can recall off the top of my head. But I do want to come over here to Proverbs 14 and 1, though. Or is it 12 and 4? I'll look and see. We're going to do a compare and contrast before we get to shaking all the way. And then Belle asked me something before we came in here, and we'll run that down because it's pertinent while it's on my brain. Proverbs 12 and 4. Say, a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that make ashamed is rottenness in his bones. Now, this is what we were discussing because I would Shalom, Mika. We were talking about this here, right? He asked a question about, can a woman divorce her husband? You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm talking about? That's for certain. No. It was something else. I was just looking at the aspect is, Shalom Jay, is it justified in the eyesight of God? So let's go look at Deuteronomy 24 and 1 real quick. Like, this is why a lot of these dude prayers don't get heard too, because they're wicked as hell. And they deal treacherously with their wife. You know what I'm talking about? But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. Say, when a man have taken a wife and married her, and it came to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it into her hand and send it out of her house. Now, we've talked about this before when they tell you what uncleanliness is. Dudes try to make it be in a multitude of different things. Shalom, Sister Jane. But because notice, and the reason I'm mentioning this because Proverbs 12 says a woman who brings shame is rottenness in his bones. So when you deal with that word uncleanliness that's used there, it is erva, and that is nakedness. That's the first thing it say. Nudity, shame, implying shameful exposure, pundenda. Nakedness of a thing, indecency and improper behavior, a disgrace or a blemish. Now, what do you think that could encompass? Especially when it says this woman bring rottenness to his bones. This is a twofold thing, by the way. Let's take a look at this. Proverbs 14 and 34 says what? Sin is a reproach to any people. That's what it says. Hold on. 14 and what? I said 34. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Sin is a dishonor. Now, it explicitly said nakedness. So when you look at nakedness, what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at something in Leviticus. Leviticus 18, if I'm not mistaken. It could be 99.9% of the time. 99.9% of the time, but I want the text to define specifically what nakedness is. Dang, boy, they say done caught somebody with pounds of fentanyl. That nigga ain't never getting out of jail. I'm gonna pick it up in Leviticus 18 and 1. Let me get myself lined up where I want to be at. Now listen to what it say. Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the sons of Yasharal, and say unto them, I am Yahuwah your Elohim. After the doings of the land of Mizraim wherein you dwell, shall you not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan whither I bring you, you shall not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances. Boy, that's too. You shall do no judgments and keep my ordinances to walk therein. I'm Yahuwah your Elohim. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahuwah. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahuwah. The nakedness of your father or the nakedness of your mother shall you not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. Now, we could keep on going and going, but I think you get the point. So verse 6, what is this to uncover their nakedness? What can this mean? Well, I guess you know it's the same word that's in Deuteronomy 24. So if you uncovering next of kin nakedness, what you took their clothes off? Hold on. Should we go any further? Matter of fact, let's just make it plain that Erva is dealing with this woman is tossing coochie around. So then when you go what the Lord say in Matthew, then it'll make a lot more sense. I'm going to read verse 8 now. Same verse. Same chapter, excuse me. Leviticus 18 and 8. The nakedness of your father you shall not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, born at home or born abroad. Their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter, or the daughter or of your daughter's daughter. Their nakedness you shall not uncover. For theirs is your own nakedness. the nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, begotten of your father. She is your sister. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister. She's your father's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach to his wife. She is your aunt. I think it's pretty clear now. Then when it's talking about uncleanness from Deuteronomy, it's talking about you found that this woman had sex with another man. Now, Mama Stepson put in there that word summary, because the Greek on the Hebrew side, this is a feminine noun, absolute, chiefly a euphemism for cohabitation. And if it's a euphemism for cohabitation, I guess you know what we had to read, right? Come over here to the book of Exodus. I think it's chapter 21 that I desire. Y'all remember that one there? Yeah, it is 21 and 10. If a man, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage, shall he not diminish? Well, y'all remember what duty of marriage mean, right? Oh, yeah, they been, man, look here, man, let me tell you something. Human behavior ain't never changed, Val, man. People been slinging loose meat and popping loose vagina since the day man figured out how to be wicked. You know what I'm talking about? How to use it, they've been using it and abusing it. We were just talking about this the other day. Look here, man. Nigga talking about sodomites. The original definition of sodomites ain't had nothing to do. I'm talking about on Hebrew wise. When you see it translated in Hebrew, they got the sodomites out the land. Man, them wasn't no doggone punks. Them was men who were tricking in the temple to other gods. With men, women, dogs, cats, didn't make no difference. People think we probably more sexually degenerate now. I'm willing to argue that they may have been more sexually degenerate in the past. And what we doing now is tame to what them people had going on. You know what I'm saying? Because people now out here just hunting for fun. These people were hunting for worship. Shalom, Brother Craig. Yeah. Oh, you don't even want to talk about Pompeii. Them people got burnt up by a doggone volcano humping on booty. Look at these people finna get ready to celebrate Valentine's Day, but the origin of it was a whole sex ritual. And the only reason this on my mind, because I seen a video talking about men are gay, if they want to celebrate Valentine's Day is for ladies. And I told the dude, well, let it be for ladies, man. And you say, baby, if you want to worship Lupercalia, well, loop on. I'm out of here. Mama Steph say the nuns were originally temple service ladies. I guess she said, I can't type the rest. And guess what they be doing in there? What they were doing back then? Talking about them women ain't having sex. They in there getting freaky with each other. They ain't touching the priest because the priest don't want no woman. He want booty. He want man, but he want pussy. Have you ever He said, I mean, man, he said, man, ain't nobody ever roll up on me like that in prison. He said, I've been meaning to ask you about that. Yeah, that's what they were doing. Nuns freaking out. All jokes aside, right? A Catholic convent is nothing but a complete extension of Succoth Benoth. That's all it is. It's just a modern day execution of Succoth Benoth. That's it. Ain't nothing changed, baby. Ain't nothing changed. You say you think they still doing it for worship rituals in some of these fraternities and secret societies? Yeah, higher up the realm. When you first get in there, they don't know it. They just want to be freaky. I mean, the average person want to be freaky. Let me tell you something, man. I told you this before. This ain't every woman in the United States of America, but I would say 70 to 75%. If they could get away with being a whore without the stigma, they would do it. They would do it. They would do it. You know what I'm saying? Because of the society that we live in, they foster it. And if they could, a lot of people don't do stuff simply because they don't want the stigma attached to the behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, I ain't talking about older women either, because it's some older hoes, but they don't really be like that. Because we're not gonna act like it wasn't whores back in the day. It's always been whores. If Judah was tricking with a harlot, then we know it was tricks and whores way back then. That's just a part of human history. But I'm talking about, but living in America though, yeah, man, it's tough. Because the women who have some type of morals and values, they old now. These young girls ain't got none. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't mind getting on the internet and popping their thought pocket for clicks and likes and ad revenue. They don't mind. You know what I'm saying? And then they contradict themselves because ain't nobody teaching them no better. See, that's when that Titus come in at least word wise. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. That boy say, "Where is the clubhouse room on nuns? Send this man to bed." Yeah, it is sad, Sister Regina. It is, but that's the reality of the situation, though. Because a lot of people, they don't really be outside and be around people to really know how bad it is out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bad out here. I'm talking about the youth. I ain't really talking about women maybe like 35 and up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them horn, but it's probably not as bad as the younger children. The younger ones, they don't care. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They really don't care. They don't care if they horn or not. They don't care about none of the stigma attached to it or anything. At least back in the day, a lot of women didn't want to be seen as a hoe. They be like, I'm going to be a hoe discreetly. The same way these boys don't care about being a punk. They had it out here. Yeah, I mess with boys. There's no way in the world 40 years ago somebody would be bold enough to let it be known that he liked men. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different world, man. This is why the book say locks was vexed with their filthy conduct. Ain't nobody over here even vexed. The prostitute sisters, my God, today. She just posted it. Hold on, I'm gonna read it. The prostitute sisters. Hold on, y'all.
What's on the read?
Oh no, this is referring to Ezekiel 23. So y'all know about Ezekiel 23. I thought we had something on the nuns. I was finna put the nuns out there. I was finna put the nuns out there. Now y'all wanted to put the nuns out there, but y'all know about Ezekiel 23 because he said Israel was a hoe. Y'all already know how I feel about that one. That man said you open your feet to everybody that passed by, and to his it was. You tooting and booting, baby. He said they give gifts to all whores. He said, but you give gifts to your lovers and get nothing in return. He said, you are contrary. That's the whole house of Yasharal he talking about. You tooting your boot up and paying, you getting paid to get ramrodded. Lord have mercy. Let's continue. That cohabitation rights is what that means in Exodus 21 and 10 when they say give you duty of marriage. Let me get that word for you. And that is Onah, that's cohabitation, conjugal rights. You know what it is to get, you had a conjugal visit? Yeah, I hope you had. That means you were with somebody in jail. They don't do conjugal visits no more. Hell no. No, and their state, shoot, it might only be maybe 2-3 states do that. Yeah, but you think he's gonna let you get some vagina while you're in prison? Man, out of 50 states, it might be 2-3 who do that. What state he in? That's about the only state that do it. Yeah, that's about the only state that do it, man. You ain't getting no coochie. You ain't getting no coochie in New York State. You ain't getting none in Florida. You ain't getting none in Texas. You ain't getting it. Man, they ain't got no man, you not finna climb through there and be around here hunting. And you got to be a certain security classification in California to do that. And you got to have a certain amount of time left. They don't just do that with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got it. Well, if they still doing it, they got a little area where they let them stay to, and your wife can come in there.
New York, California, Connecticut, and Washington.
That's it. Ain't that many.
population one.
Nah, New York State ain't that big of a state.
I'm not population.
New York State ain't that big of a state. Once you get past New York City, ain't nothing in New York. It's rural. It's rural. They don't make them do nothing. They don't mess with them people. You can't do it if you're not married.
You gotta be careful, man. You're not trying to stab you coming back. You imagine you got
Come over here to 1 Corinthians 7, man. See, I know that be the talk because niggas see certain things. You think every state can do that. Hell no, every state don't do that. Dudes wouldn't be raping niggas and playing with punks if they could get conjugal visits. You know what I'm saying? If you could get married and get a visit and have sex with your wife, why would you be in here laid up with a boy? Unless you like boys.
That's why Tory Lanez tried to get married. He's a baby mama. It makes sense.
Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, man. I just want you to see why Paul said what he said here with the duty of marriage and conjugal rights. Say, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, is it good for a man not to touch a woman? Now, this is going back to what the apostle said, the same thing to the Lord, getting to this key point that we're working towards. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, let every woman have her own husband. So he say to keep sexual impropriety out the way, go get you a wife. Yeah, that's what Exodus 21:10 mean, conjugal right. That means, look here, man, you cannot tell your wife you ain't going to give her no wee-wee if that's what she want. He said you can't diminish that. You can't hold that back. This is why Paul's saying what he about to say. She said, well, you better tie it up.
Pink correspondent.
Say, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. Excellent. I got it, Mom Steph. And likewise also the wife unto the husband. Shalom, Brother Ernest. What does due benevolence mean? Benevolence is yo no ya. That's goodwill, kindness, conjugal duty, which is exactly what your law say. Conjugal duty. Say it's your duty to get that man that booty. You know what I'm talking about? Verse 4. The wife have not power over her own body, but the husband likewise. Also, the husband have not power over his own body, but the wife. Yep, that's absolutely. It's definitely in the text, too, that male prostitutes were called Kadash, one who is set apart. Oh, yeah, the male temple prostitutes, the main one. I got verses for it. That's why he say don't bring the price of a dog in my temple or the price of a whore. That whore wasn't talking about, even that word effeminate in Corinthians that everybody uses incorrectly, talking about somebody acting like a woman. But I was talking about a male temple prostitute.
So before the female prostitute.
It was male temple prostitute. Before the woman was slinging coochie, these boys were slinging booty.
Makes you look at history
differently, man. These people like, look here, man, they always want to talk about the women tricking and never the fact that, and guess what? It's not the fact that men were tricking. Somebody was tricking with them. And it wasn't no women. It wasn't that the women at the temple like, yeah, the male review. It was dudes in there. That's why he said, don't be like the Egyptians. Them boys like booty hole. Well, you better go study ancient Egyptian stuff, or them being like men.
Boys.
No, that's the Romans and the Greeks. They like young boys. He said we weren't supposed to. He said we weren't supposed to preach that part today. It's historical context. Historical context. Because guess what? A lot of these boys in the game now, these boys gay. The We're going to let that stay where it stayed up. Verse 5, 1 Corinthians 7. Defraud you not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. And we talked about that last night. If you're not going to have sex, at least let that be known, because somebody, all them games that you hear, at least in television and social media, women like, yeah, don't give him no coochie. That's how you get cheated on. I know people don't want to hear that, but you're dealing with human beings. Well, you cannot keep telling that man he can't get no vagina, and then he didn't went without no vagina for 8-9 months, and then you think that this man not going to have sex with somebody else. You lying to yourself. You lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Some people that strong to be like, you know, they good. Most people aren't. I know you looking crazy, but they say probably. No, I'm telling you, man, they do studies on this type of stuff. I think they say almost 50% of the marriages in the United States are sexless marriages for a multitude of different reasons. It don't necessarily be the woman denied it. Sometimes kids, sometimes work, sometimes it be a lot of things. But boy, you can't. There's a reality, right? If a man say I'm gonna marry you, he's choosing to forego the opportunity to have sex with as many women as he could, if that's what he wanted to do, to only have sex with you. And then you telling him no. So why would I be married and then go masturbate? Why would I do that? I don't want you to say that sex was your number one motivation for getting married, but it's definitely a determining factor. Because you don't want to displease God by having sex on a defiled bed. And now I've made this commitment and you telling me no, I got to play with myself. What I got a wife for? Now you got nasty niggas who got a wife and still play with themselves. I don't know what you got going on. You got a whole woman over here and you want to watch porn. That junk weird, bro. He said you wish you had the ability to kick that. Hey, 7-8 months without yams is tough. That's consequently, if you deny that woman intimacy, shoot, don't be shocked she gonna lay up with another dude. You can't do people like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shocked. It's gonna happen. You know what I'm talking about? But getting back to the point at hand. Nakedness clearly means that this person has had sex with another person. You know what I'm talking about? So let's come over here to Mark chapter 10. This makes the statement that the Lord makes a lot more clear. Mark 10:1. And we could read Malachi if we want. Well, you don't got no notice to give you the boot, boy. Mark 10:1. And he arose from thence and coming to the coast of Yehuda, by the farther side of Jordan, the people resort unto him again. And as he was wont, he taught them again. And the Pharisees came to him and asked him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife, tempting him? And he answered and said unto them, what did Moses command you? And they say, Moses suffered to write a bill of divorce to put her away. I got to read the article she put in there too. Yahushua answered and said unto them, for the hardness of your heart, he wrote you this precept. But from the beginning of creation, Elohim made them male and female. For this cause shall a man cleave to his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. Wherefore, what therefore Elohim have joined together, let no man put asunder. And he said unto, and in the house, the disciples asked him again of the matter. He said unto them, whosoever put away his wife and marry another, commit adultery against her. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she commit adultery. Now, where does this come in at? What it is, Mark 5? Yeah, it's Mark 5. I mean, Matthew 5, I'm sorry. Five and 27. Now, see a lot of shalom, brother Herm. See what's happening, so see a lot of brews that don't believe in the Lord. See, a lot of people don't like stuff when they feel like it infringes on their lust. You know what I'm saying? Because this man, and you can read it in Malachi, This man is not with people just getting divorced. That man say he hate divorce. Matter of fact, he find it abominable. He told men don't act treacherously with the wife of your youth. This is the wife of your covenant. So this is how you know you have a covenant with your wife. Now I pulled my penis out, you open your legs, now we married. Now I swore before heaven and earth as a witness and you married. Not none of this goofy stuff that people be trying to come up with. You heard that it was said by them of old time, you shall not commit adultery. But I say unto you that whosoever look on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart. Now, what does that mean? What does that go to? Oh no. That's David. Remember, he saw David out there. David saw Bathsheba out there bathing, and water was glistening all over her body. And he went over there and knocked that woman down. Because you can't commit adultery with a woman who's not married. But you wouldn't have committed adultery with her in your inward man. See, you coveted your neighbor's wife. He said, if you look on her with lust, like smack, like you got some dudes, I want her, not just sexually.
I was saying to covet can mean desire.
Look it up. Tell me what it says.
No,
not just for yourself.
Hey.
Shalom, East man.
It said here to desire, take pleasure, and delight in.
Say multiple wives love if it's not adultery if the woman isn't married. See, we ain't dealing with them because that's a different conversation. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So when you look at it right, when David looked on Bathsheba, what's the next thing he did? He sought for her. Then he knocked her down. Then he concocted a plan to murder this woman. You know what I'm saying? What you got is you got two things. You coveted and you committed adultery because you think you can look at. I don't want to say the man's name because I don't know. He said to my she seduced him. He ain't, oh, that boy that fell hard. That nigga wrong. One thing about it, he might have been enticed, but he should have thought twice because he knew who that was. He knew that was another man's wife. He knew that. Joseph was definitely seduced, and Joseph showed you what to do. Put them track shoes on. Get up out of there. He said, how can I sin against God to do this here? You're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But also in the reverse in that situation, Joseph was the underling. David is the man with authority. He felt like he could do that. He let his penis get him in trouble. You know what I'm talking about? Now, so the one dude I was talking about, he wanted to do wife, but not just for the sex. He wanted her all the way around the boys. He a different type of nigga. You got some niggas, they want your wife. They don't even want the yams. They just want her. Maybe they want her so you can't have her. Either way it goes, it's weird. Shalom to her, man. But I get what you're talking about, though. But when he's saying this one here, though, you trying to crash. See, David wanted Bathsheba for herself, which is weird. But nevertheless. He said she put the yams in his face. That boy, that hard, man. Verse 31, man. Matthew 5. Well, they gonna hang you from a tree, Bill. Shit. That's amazing. It's been said that whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give him a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery, and whosoever marry her that is divorced, commit adultery. So the only rationale and reason. So if a woman marries a divorced man, does that nullify the marriage? Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily be married unless they left for the cause of fornication. And of course, fornication entails everything that's in Leviticus 18 or Leviticus 20. That is any manner of sexual impropriety. So say if you caught your wife having sex with a dog. I'm not saying that you would have sex with a dog. I'm just saying that if you caught your wife having sex with a dog, that classifies fornication. Bestiality falls under that umbrella. If you caught your wife having sex with a woman, lesbianism falls under the umbrella of fornication. We were having this conversation the other day. Dude said, well, the Torah don't say that women can't have sex with women. If you need that spelled out, you don't know God. Because that goes to the point that we were talking about the other day or earlier. Like everything is not going to be spelled out word for word. You have to have some manner of righteous judgment and the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of your God. You know what I'm saying? He got to spell everything out for you. Does he really need to say that woman should not be with woman? He shouldn't have to say that to you. You should know that. What is natural about two women carpet munching? Can you produce? Can you be fruitful and multiply? Scissoring. This woman got a plastic strap and it ain't no pistol. That would be considered unnatural affection. You know what I'm saying? Individuals burning in their lust.
That's mechanical affection.
Yes. You can divorce your spouse anytime you want for any reason you want. You just can't marry nobody else while they're alive. If you catch them in any manner of sexual impropriety, you can divorce them and marry somebody else. That's what Vail was asking. It's the same all the way around the board. That's why I was telling a lot of brews will run with that and say, well, it don't say that explicitly. But you have to have a just weight and a just balance. So the same judgment that would be meted towards a man, the same judgment to be meted towards a woman. So if a woman came home and he was in there doing the bending, you know what I'm talking about? She can divorce him and get another husband. He's been defiled and he's violated that covenant. You know what I'm saying? That's just weights and just measures. Remember, he said, have a just weight and a just measure. Anybody who don't do so, that's an abomination. So to say that I can divorce this woman if she do this, but she can't divorce me if I do the same thing, that's unjust. Okay, go ahead. You can remarry if sexual impropriety. It has to be sexual impropriety. You gotta catch this nigga doing the bending.
Or like he having sex with a dog.
You know what I'm saying? That's bestiality. You catch him in there with his sister. See, the thing with another woman is, now you have to remember this here. Adultery, word-wise, with a man can't commit adultery with a woman who's not married.
So he said, she walks in
doing the bending.
Mm-hmm. She can't file for divorce.
You can file for divorce.
You can't be married.
No, you can't. See, this is the thing, right? It also depends on the individual. Because these dudes believe in having multiple wives. We don't. So a dude who does, he going to be like, well, I took me another wife and what? You know what I'm saying? So you have to realize that everybody don't believe the same thing. So you do need to make sure that you know completely and utterly what somebody believes and stand for before you marry them. Because you can't have a standard and then try to enforce that standard on somebody who rejects it. You know what I'm talking about? Because you can come and say, hey, I catch you in here with another woman, regardless if she married or not, I'm divorcing you and remarrying. He could be like, no, I'm not doing that. Because he said, I don't believe in that. Or he could be like, I can divorce you and you ain't had sex with nobody. You burnt my biscuits.
So just a man can cheat with a woman and he can...
No, what he's doing in that with cheating is, remember we talked about this before in Malachi, that's bagad. He's being deceitful. He's being treacherous. If you told that woman it's going to be you and her, and then you went over here and did that, let's just go look at it. Malachi chapter 2. So we didn't talk about this before. This ain't new. He said, I understand that. I thought, no, that's why he did that in there. Because you got to remember, most of the time, word-wise, the only time that they would be espoused, they would expect this woman to be a virgin. If they found her not to be a virgin, they got rid of her. That woman got stoned. You know what I'm talking about? Now, you read about men in the text, specifically in the book of Jeremiah, They were lined up like horses neighing at their neighbors' wives. But it don't go into great detail. When he say fornication, this you catch this nigga out of pocket on some freaky stuff. That's the only way. Why? Because what got Israel really cut off? So technically, what have you done? Nah, you committed adultery. You committed fornication. I put you away. The difference between him and everybody else is he didn't marry another wife. He found a means to bring his banished back and reconcile with his wife. That's why I mentioned that last night. If possible, reconcile. Notice the key word, what I said. If possible. Because I can't tell you that you can just wipe that slate clean. Because you might can't wipe that slate clean.
You said he wanted to reconcile with his wife and he couldn't marry a whore, so he came up with a new plan by dying.
Yeah, because he didn't want to be married to anybody else but Yasharal. But on the natural side of things, everybody ain't on that.
That's a hard saying.
It's a hard saying. It's a hard saying. Malachi 2:14. This is what it say with dudes though. Yet you have saved, wherefore, because Yah have been a witness between you and the wife of your youth, against whom you have dealt treacherously. She is your companion, the wife of your covenant. Treacherously is bagad. That is to be deceitful. This is the next thing he said. Did he not make how many? One. Yet he have the residue of the ruach. Wherefore, one. That he might seek a godly seed, that you take heed to your spirit. Let none deal treacherously against the wife of his youth. For Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yasharal, say he hate putting away. For cover violence with his garments, says Yahuwah's host. Therefore take heed to your ruach, that you deal not treacherously. So you shouldn't be deceitful. Now, what are you being deceitful about? That's why you say you got to know what people believe before you marry them. Now, some dudes get in the word and they find out, oh, you can have multiple wives, and then they change up later. I ain't got nothing to do with that, because he going to have to answer with that with the Lord. But he just said he made how many? So what that take you back to? And it was only one. Now, dudes don't be wanting to hear that because they be like, well, this person had this many wives and this person had this many wives. I ain't got nothing to do with that. We just following the plan that's set. Hold on. We're going to have that sacred prostitution up there. But yeah, you catch a dude. It all comes down to what y'all coveted it to when it comes to that, though. Because if you're going to take the technical aspect, if that woman's not married, he cannot commit adultery with a woman who's not married. But if he told you it was going to be you and him, then he done dealt treacherously. He done violated y'all covenant. You can remarry. It's all about the breaking of the covenant. Because if this is what you agreed to, then this is what you agreed to. You can't come back around and then say, well, I'm going to do something different now, because I got some new information. Now you're a covenant breaker. You know what I'm talking about? You can't do that. Some people don't care about that. And some people do. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize something, right? Some of the things that we stand on is not the universal thing that other people stand on.
I was going to say, because in the book of Matthew, they came up to him, they was like, we can put away our woman for every cause.
Every cause.
And that's why he had to
Yeah, they were saying for everything.
That's why he had to put context into it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't like the way she looked at me. I don't like the way she did this or she did that. So how does that work for unmarried people? Like for the sake of, now, if you're not married and you have sex with a woman, you know the law speak about that. Now, of course, that woman ain't no virgin. You know what I'm saying? So the things that pertain to that is different, because you ain't paying no dowry to nobody. Because the law says if you lay with a woman who is not betrothed, then you shall surely endow her to be your wife, and you would have to pay a dowry to her father. So how would you do that in these modern times? If you having sex with that woman, man, you either need to marry her or leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to marry her, then you don't need to be climbing on top of her. Because if you want to climb on top of her, that means she must be good enough to marry. Because if she ain't good enough to marry, why is you climbing on top of this woman? You know what I'm talking about? And that's the way you handle that in modern times righteously. Same thing for a woman. Don't be bending over for this dude and you know you don't want to marry him. Stop having sex with him or marry him. Because the whole objective is to keep the fornication down. When I say fornication, I'm talking about the defilement, the releasing of bodily fluids in an improper fashion. You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose. Not to be out here freaking and humping around like your name Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? They better be seductively in the man, boy, they gonna hang you, boy. But when we get back in Grand Rising, boy, they gonna get you, boy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to save you from this one. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just messing with you, man. So you see how that works? It's certain stuff, right? But then you also have to look at if you're dealing with a godly man, he wouldn't be doing that anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember Big Greasy used to mention that. Like if you are dealing with a godly woman, there's certain things that you should not be concerned about. And if you're dealing with a godly man, there's certain things that you shouldn't even be concerned about. When you start getting caught up with stuff like that, you being carnal because you worrying about the wrong thing. Because guess what? If the nigga ain't going to be faithful to God, he ain't going to be faithful to you. So what you worry about that for? You should be more concerned if he faithful to God, not faithful to you. Nigga can be faithful to you and be wicked as hell. But some people don't care. As long as he do that, I'm straight. He said he might as well make the best of it now. I'm staying out of the way, boy. That's between you and mama right there. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Where was that? But I was asking that with Bill because he was like, could a woman divorce her husband? And you read it in Mark, he said, hey, a woman divorce her husband, man. You can divorce. Anybody can divorce. It's what you divorcing for. And is it justified before God? You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, man, I can't talk right now, bro. We working right now, blood. Come on back to Colossians, man. 3 and 18. And she say she taking screenshots. Boy, Bill, you in trouble. You see, the problem is that people be so in a rush to be with somebody that you not validating if they godly or not. That's male or female. Now, remember, we read this. We went through all this stuff because he said a woman who brings shame is like a rottenness to a man's bones. Let me look at shame here real quick. Now, Proverbs 12 and 4. I think it's boosh for shame. It is. Put to shame, to be disconcerted, to be. And the only thing that could put somebody to shame is her participating in some manner of impropriety. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. And that just is what it is. Yes, ma'am, Mother Strong. Now I go on IG. I don't even know what he talking about. I don't want to know. He finna tell on somebody. So Colossians 3 and 18. What's up, son? Your hair growing in now, boy. You're only 3/4 bald. Because I know that one. That matter of fact, what that is that Matthew 19? Let's look at that. That'll answer the other question you asked the other day. God damn it! Every time I do that, that don't do that. I was trying to see that message, and I just close the room.
You want to close that book on you?
I have to wait for them to come back in here. What else? Man, Colossians 3 and 18. Oh yeah, Matthew 19. I was trying to see something. That dude that was just in here had something noticed something. She wanted me to see what it was. I couldn't see it. I just closed the room and I tried to see it. Nigga, something be the same thing.
you doing?
Cause see, I know that sexual stuff. That sex is probably the most difficult thing that most people in the world fool with. Probably behind, maybe in front of or behind pride and faith. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of people just horny. You know what I'm saying? I gotta start a movie. No, that dude who was in here at the bottom, I was trying to see what that was. You sent Nola, and then they closed the room. But whatever it is, don't open that junk. I think that nigga sent me the same thing. I ain't looking at that thing. That nigga, that weird. What is it? Matthew what? 19 and what? Oh, the same thing. I'll pick it up at verse 1. Yeah, Buddy weird, man. He raised his hand. And I'll be some weird people. And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came to the coast of Yehuda beyond Jordan. Great multitude followed when he healed them there. The Pharisees came tempting him, saying unto him, if it is lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause. So again, they sizing the man, trying to catch him up in his speech with these questions. Now, when it said for every cause, I just want to, let's see what it is for every cause. What are they saying? Cause in this instance is atia, cause, reason, cause for which one is worthy of punishment, crime, charge of a crime, an accusation. That means it would actually have to be a sin that be punishable by death, technically. But clearly that's not what they were doing. Have you not, and he answered and said, have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? Why do y'all think he keep referencing that? Since we dealing with husbands, dwell with your wives according to knowledge. Why y'all think he keep referencing that? Let's go take a look at it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Well, 27 is better.
Hey, go sit you behind.
Elohim said, created man in his own image, in his own like, in his image of Elohim created he him, male and female created he them. When you hear that, what comes to mind? Male and female created he them. Now, of course, y'all know Genesis 5 and 1. Do we need to read Genesis 5 and 1? Or is this right here sufficient? Why y'all think? What do you think this means? Especially with Yahushua saying, in the beginning he made male and female. We read in Malachi, he said, did he not make what? One, that he might have a what type of seed? I'll accept it. Godly seed. What is godly? No, I'm finna tell you the Hebrew word for that. Ruth A. This one here meaning Elohim. This been meaning that if it's a godly seed, you like God. Now we read in Revelation 3, Yahushua said he was a faithful and true witness. So if you're going to be a godly seed, you would need to be faithful. That's why you wouldn't be deceitful to your wife or your youth. But what you think this mean when he said male and female created he them? Because it relates to our relationship with Elohim being his wife and how I'll allow it. I will allow it. What did we read the other day in John 17? What did Yahushua pray for? What is the thing that he prayed to his father for? To make them one. To make them one. So when you look at male and female created he them, and he's saying in the beginning, he made man and woman to be one, not to be separated. See, a lot of the things that you see in this present day society that keep men and women separated is to cause you to rebel against God. People just don't realize that. Because if you can't be joined to each other, how can you be joined to God? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that you need a man or a woman to be joined to God, but if you don't even understand the thought process of being a God with who was created for you, then how you going to be a God with the one who created you? You're going to have extreme level of difficulty with that, along with the fact of actually operating in the fashion that he desired for you to operate. Because the people who in the word being married, your marriage is supposed to be reflective of the kingdom of God, which is why he say, husbands, love your wives as the Mashiach loved his, and for wives submit to your husbands as unto the Lord, because individuals supposed to be seeing a replication of Yasharal and Yahuwah. But people don't understand that because these niggas dumb. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know what 2 Samuel 23 say. Y'all don't remember what he said in 2 Samuel chapter 23? What did David said? Oh shoot, your club that crash shoot. I had tried to look at this message and I just closed the room. In 2 Samuel 23, David said something. If I say that there, I'll give the whole thing away. No, I didn't give no context. I just gave you the chapter so you could be able to go and look and find it for yourself. Because if I say it, then the question would be completely eradicated. He that ruleth, Omar put the same thing on, he that ruleth amongst men must be just. I couldn't get no context out of the answer. You know what I'm talking about? So if you're gonna rule in your household, guess what you would need to be? Righteous. This needs to be done according to proper mishpat, a proper judgment. You know what I'm saying? So if you rule in accord proper judgment, then you would know full well you shouldn't be slinging loose meat to random women. You know what I'm talking about? You would already know that. That was something that this woman shouldn't be concerned with, coming home finding you doing the bending, whether it's a man or a woman. Because it wouldn't be nobody in there for you to be bending if she wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But the thing come in that is we do not seek people who actually serve God because that's what they want for their life. We just meeting people because they say this is what they own, and you want to be on it because you want to be with them. And that's a bad move, to say the least. Because it's going. Why do you think? I told y'all this the other day, right? I was clowning about it last night. I told you this the other day. Why do you think a lot of these Hebrew marriages fail like that? Why do you think these dudes be Shalom McCody, all this other stuff they be doing? Because they horny as hell. And they hoping that just because I say I'm an Israelite or I'm in the word, that can cover up all the deficiencies that I possess, and you'll give me some wee-wee or some yams. Now you married to somebody who ain't had no business fooling with because this person never loved God like you did, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody think we supposed to be out here playing matchmaker. You supposed to be getting match made with your God. I ain't supposed to be out here matching you up with nobody. When you get into that type of deal, you worrying about the wrong thing. You know who's supposed to be matching you up? Your daddy. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have this conversation with people offline who said come up with Hebrew standards of dating. He's like, we got to be chaperoning. And I'm not chaperoning nobody. You know what I mean? I ain't doing none of that unless it's one of them. You know what I'm saying? Now, if y'all was like, hey, man, I want you to chaperone an outing with my son and such daughter. Oh, yeah, I'll do that all day long. I ain't got no problem with that because that's what ought to be done. But you rusty behind niggas? No. I look like chaperoning a 33-year-old woman with 2 kids. A 36-year-old man with a 14-year-old son. I would wager that this man would know exactly what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. Wouldn't you say that would be accurate, LaJohn? That means he should know how to govern himself. I shouldn't have to go outside and watch him now, should I? These dudes like, all these unmarried women, as leaders, we supposed to get them married. No, I'm not. Send her to her daddy and let her get her married. That ain't my job. You know why? Because if that marriage go bad, guess who they gonna blame? They gonna blame you, Johnny. They say you set him up. You told me to marry this man. That's what happened. You know how you avoid the ministry being blamed and that type of stuff? Stay in your lane. That's not your job. Where can you read anywhere in the word where anybody who was preaching the word got people together for marriage? That wasn't their offspring. And where is it insinuated at? It's not. You know what that kind of remind me of? What people be talking about with the federal government overstepping their bounds, and that you need checks and balances. Some things supposed to be in the power of the state. Some people supposed to be in the power of the federal government. And when it comes to your day-to-day life, it's supposed to be in the power of your local government. They're supposed to stay out the way. The preacher's supposed to stay out the way. Matthew 19:5. So with him saying male and female, in the beginning he made them male and female. I mean, he always created man and woman to be together and not to be separate. I mean, the woman you get, notice that Eve committed a sin before Adam did, and he didn't get rid of Eve and give him another wife. He didn't split him up. Verse 5. And he said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Who said that? Y'all slow on the draw. Who said that? Man shall leave his father and mother. Now who? Oh, God, no. Genesis chapter 2. You done already answered wrong, man. You failed this quiz. I heard you say Abraham. I don't know what you're not going to do. Where your proof at? You wrote it down? Oh, wow. Somebody vouch for you.
I can look up and look down. That's what it's funny.
Genesis 2:21.
You ain't say that. So hey.
2:10. This nigga from New York. Oh, soft nigga. This nigga ain't from this nigga ain't from Brooklyn. This nigga from Poughkeepsie. All right, Genesis 2:21. And Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept and took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man made he a woman and brought her unto the woman. This is why she's called the weaker vessel. Paul, I think I mentioned this last night. If she's called the weaker vessel, and this passage is showing you that she's the weaker vessel, why scripturally do you answer that? What makes her the weaker vessel as compared to Adam? And it's not her emotionality. She did come from Adam, but what specifically makes her the weaker vessel in comparison to him? Adam was born of God. Adam is the son of God. You know what I'm talking about? She came from Adam. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the woman is considered the weaker vessel, because Adam is of. Remember Luke chapter 3, and Adam, who is the son of God. You know what I'm talking about? So this also takes into account that we come from the son of God, Yahushua HaMashiach. That's why we are the weaker vessel in comparison to him. This is why he's telling you to show honor to the weaker vessel, because Yahushua showed honor to the weaker vessel, that being us. You know what I'm saying? Jamal. Verse 23. Stop. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. And she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh, and they both were naked, man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Now, if they were both naked and not ashamed, of course y'all should remember what this means, right? How could you be naked and not ashamed? No sin. Because the minute they knew they were naked, they were what? Ashamed. This is how I say that's why if a woman commits some matter of uncleanliness, it's nakedness, it's shame. The only manner of uncleanliness in that instance is going to be she was with another man. Dudes will try to tell you that she was having sex with Satan, but she wouldn't have no sex. I don't know why these dudes want angels to have sex with women so bad. I don't understand it. These niggas got a freaky fetish for spirit and flesh? I don't know.
You watching that anime?
Watching that anime. You say her faithfulness not as strong as Adam's? Yeah, you can look at that. You know you go on a whole nother route with it. 5 and 22. I'm also looking at it from the creation standpoint. That Adam was made by the hand of God, and she came out of Adam. Just like Yahusha was made by the hand of the Father out of the grave, and we come out of him. D-nut. Ephesians. Jamal, what you doing, son? Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Is that why a woman shouldn't teach in the assembly? When you look at that, it's just a simple aspect. Is all you have to do is look at the job descriptions. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the original job descriptions with the priest, I know a Hebrew preacher who don't like that, but the women couldn't be in the temple for no other reason that they had a period every month where they would be defiled and they couldn't work. You know what I'm saying? So when you look Old Testament wise, the only people who taught the word were Levites. Nobody else did that. There was nobody else's job but theirs. It tells you that. And the Levites who taught the good law of Yahuwah, nobody else did that. No other tribe participated in that. No random person say, oh, I feel like teaching. I got something to say. The Spirit of God on me too. None of the people didn't do that. Well, I ain't gonna say they didn't do it. Some people did it, but they weren't adhered to in general. And if they did do it, they were out of pocket and they led people astray. So when you come into the new covenant with the jobs of an apostle, prophet, pastor, teacher, evangelist, so on and so forth, when you look at the job qualifications, she don't have that, so she wouldn't be teaching it anyway. Now, if you're dealing with a prophetess, anybody can prophesy at any time in the midst of the assembly. Hair covering is a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's going to take us down a different road. That's a different conversation. But as far as that, it's just the job titles. You know what I'm saying? Because people will look at a pastor and they be like, well, God can use anybody. And you can say that all you want. But that man say a bishop, a pastor, a shepherd, whatever, he got to be the husband of one wife. You know what I'm saying? You have to be. There's no way around that. Not the wife of one husband. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that works. Now, people can do whatever they want. See, now at least for me, and I'm not saying you saying that, Mother Shroom. I've been in this for so long that it's just some conversations with people like that they like to debate about. I'm not participating. I'm not talking about y'all asking questions now. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes like to argue and debate about if a woman can preach or teach or not. I'm not finna have that debate with them. If she want to do it, I'ma let her. I don't believe it's my job to get on the internet and try to stop every single solitary thing. But if you know the word, you know how that's supposed to be set up. You know what the word say the qualification of a pastor is. I know some people will look at deacon and deaconess and all that type of stuff. Man, ain't no such thing as a deaconess. There's no such thing. Because deacon just means servant. It ain't got nothing to do with a job title as far as being the preacher. And even with a deacon, it says you got to be the husband of one wife. Apostles, That's a whole different deal. You don't see any female apostles. If I saw one, then I'd point it out. It's not there. You know what I'm talking about? And that's just it. But of course, when you understand how the temple was, well, if the priest was unclean, what would happen to him? They would die. I don't think people realize how serious that was because we never lived where the temple of Yahuwah was present to see how serious that man took that. Also, remember this here. When they came out of Egypt, what did Yahuwah do to the Egyptians? He did take their stuff, but what is the main thing he's known for doing to the Egyptians? Killing the firstborn. When they came out of Egypt, what's the first thing Yahuwah said about the firstborn? They were his. Then in the book of Numbers, what did he say about the firstborn? No, he did say that, and then he said something else right behind it. Numbers chapter 3 to be specific, if you can't recall. Something come right behind that. He said that, but something come right behind that. It's in Numbers chapter 3. What did he do as it relates to the firstborn? I need you to be a little bit more specific. He took the Levites instead of the firstborn son. You know what I'm saying? You said, I just said you need to be a little bit more specific. I needed, you know, if we was on Jeopardy, I wouldn't have been able to take that. You know, Jeopardy give you that leeway. You want to give you the money. He just beat you for your buzzer beater. So initially, all firstborn sons were supposed to be the ministers of Yahuwah in his temple and the administrators of his word. That's who was supposed to do it. Then he said, you know what? Instead of the firstborn, I'm going to take the lead. This is how you know that in the temple, that was never supposed to be. Simply because, you take it a step further. What did the Egyptians do for Yahuwah to kill the firstborn sons? They killed all the sons of Yasharal. Take it a step further. What does the firstborn son signify? The beginning of strength and the excellency of his might. You know what I'm saying? That just is what it is. Then on top of that, what does the firstborn son get? The inheritance rights. So all of these things point to Mashiach. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how that goes. But individuals think about certain things because they think about things from a gender perspective. As forth as fighting and fussing. But when you talk about the actual calling together of an assembly, the structure, the execution, and the order, it is what it is. And when you know that, you're not finna argue with people about that. Now, if there's a lady and she talking about Yahuwah, you don't stop her from doing that, man. These dudes think everything teaches because most people get on here and debate. If a woman is bearing witness to the greatness of Yahuwah and that's what she want to do, why would you stop her? You know what I'm talking about? If she telling her son, hey, baby, we don't do X, Y, Z over here. This is an offense against our God. Why would you stop her? These dudes are so exceedingly stupid that they think everything is about sitting down in an organized manner, dropping words, when some people just enjoy speaking of their God and making sure that those around them know how great he is. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about, I'm finna go from house to house, you know what I'm talking about? Disseminating word, nobody did that. Nobody did that. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. If they weren't a Levite in the old covenant, they didn't do that. And in the new covenant, they still didn't do it. Because people didn't have the thought process that we have now of, I must be heard because I got something to say. You know what I'm saying? I want to do it too. Yes.
You might have just answered but as a woman, like, as far as like, as she was women, how far is, like, at what point is it like, okay, I can't say nothing because I don't
No, you can bear witness to Yahuwah. The most problem is that most people don't know how to bear witness of their God without calling themselves, talking about, let me show you book, chapter, and verse. You can bear witness to your God by simply saying, I am. Yeah, that's what a synagogue. Synagogues is for the teaching of the word. You can testify your God at any time, anywhere. He actually encourages it. You know, we talked about that in Second Chronicles. Or what's that first? One of them Chronicles. But you better have your stuff. You slacking on your Mac and he's going to get you. You know what I'm saying? Or when you look at Anna the prophetess, who spoke of the redemption of the Father to anybody who was in Jerusalem who would listen. You know what I'm saying? You have to, the same way that you would tell somebody how great your husband is the same way you would tell them how great your God is.
Merciful goodness.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But sitting back to let me explain to you how the son of, how you going? Like, come on, man. What you doing? I don't even do all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even do all that in the street. I don't even do all that. You move around. You want to go through a whole hour dissertation for a 2-minute conversation, and wonder why nobody want to talk to you. Ephesians 5:22. That's right. Yeah, man, you can talk about your God at any time. Don't let nobody stifle you from that. But whether man or woman, everybody want to teach the word. You know what I'm saying? Some people just don't want to say, hey, man, Yahuwah is good, and this is why. Yahuwah is great, and this is why. Yahushua is I believe he's the son of God, and this is why. Like, people cannot plainly articulate why they believe what they believe and why they serve who they serve. You should be able to articulate that at any given time to anybody. That's not teaching anybody. You're plainly making a proclamation of faith, which you should never shy away from doing. When the opportunity presents itself, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't shy away from doing that. So if somebody was telling you as a woman you was teaching because you were doing that, that nigga's a jackass and an idiot. Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as the Mashiach is the head of the assembly. He's the savior of the body. Therefore, as the synagogue is subject unto her Mashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives, even as the Mashiach also loved the church and gave himself for. Now, we read it last night. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his who? And we read friends. He called Abraham his friend. And what word was there? Aha, man. That man said you should love your wives as the Mashiach also loved his. And that means if you should love this woman. If you say this show, I ain't talking about friend like people say friend. There should be love there. That's why I told you, if you look at that woman, man, and you got to think twice. Only if you lay your life down for that woman, you don't love that woman in that capacity, you shouldn't marry her. Yeah, no, you can't grow into that. I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't grow into want to die for somebody. You don't grow into that. The reason why I say that is because I mean the love ain't present. That love got to be present, man. And if you don't love that woman like that, man, don't be because the marriage gonna be ugly. You know what I'm talking about? The marriage gonna be ugly because the first chance somebody get, they gonna get up out of there. When there's some adversity that can't be overcome, niggas gonna run. They gonna lay down because people too worried about being cute. You know what I'm saying? And hunching. Not actually, do you have a genuine love, care, and concern for this individual as the word lay out? Matter of fact, let me read that as the word lay it out. 1 Corinthians 13. Yeah, Jacob didn't love Leah because he never wanted Leah. You know what I'm saying? And of course, that was an ugly situation for her. And Yahuwah was trying to show favor to her because he knew that Jacob did not love this woman like he loved Rachel. You know what I'm saying? And Leah knew it. Leah knew it. You know what I'm saying? Now, with Jacob being a perfect man, if he would have had to lay his life down for Leah, he would have done it. Yeah, no, that's why Leah had all them babies and Rachel didn't, because he closed Rachel's womb up and let Leah have all them babies. That's why they was giving him their handmaids. And again, we didn't talk about before that. That was just the custom of the land at that time. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give the eldest daughter in marriage the younger daughter before you gave the elder daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's just how they operated at that time. Antiquity was different. You know what I'm saying? So, Laban with it, but of course, all these things was to pull off the will of Yahuwah. Because Rachel and Leah symbolizes who? Israel and Judah. Because Leah had Judah, Rachel had Joseph. That's all it symbolizes. It symbolizes he who's of the promised seed, which is Jacob. You know what I'm talking about? Because he's coming from Isaac. So, Jacob is symbolizing the Ruach HaKadosh, or the spreading or offspring of children. You know what I'm talking about? Or more specifically, in this instance, he's representing the Mashiach. He got Rachel and Leah, Israel and Judah. He got to make them one. You know what I'm talking about? And that's all that represented. Because he didn't ask for Leah. But again, what some people would be like, well, why would he have sex with the handmaids? Because if the wife couldn't have children, that's what they did. We can't look at one thing that we can never do word-wise is look at it from our own perspective and thoughts and say what somebody should or shouldn't have done when you don't understand culturally how they lived and what they did. Shalom, Sister Kelly. You could, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, they don't even really get mentioned no more. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they don't, because their children don't be considered to be theirs. You know what I'm saying? The children every child that Leah's handmaid had was considered to be Leah's. And every child that Rachel's handmaid had was considered to be hers.
I get what he's saying, but he's saying like the nations are still considered sons, even though they're not from the bloodline. But they still.
But see, they is from the bloodline because the woman bloodline don't count when it come to inheritance is concerned. If you're dealing with the man who had, because you're dealing with the man who had the promise. Rachel and Leah didn't have the promise. So their handmaids weren't a part of them promises either. Rachel and Leah are co-heirs with him. You know what I'm saying? That was the point that we wanted, that all those women with mainly Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, they're co-heirs with Jacob because Jacob is the inheritor. You know what I'm saying? The inheritance comes through Jacob. Without Jacob, they have no inheritance. You know what I'm talking about? And it goes to why you have to, and when you look at how they treated their wife, because no matter what anybody say, Jacob did not treat Leah in a harsh fashion. She just knew that he wanted Rachel. That's it. He didn't give her less than. He didn't treat her less than. Most individuals think that he treated her less than because it states that he loved Rachel. You know why people think that way? Because that's what they would do. But always remember, the book says that Jacob was a what type of man? A plain man. Dwelling in tent. This is a perfect man. So he going to do things with integrity and righteousness and how he operates. That's why even when Laban tricked him, he ain't spazzed out. He worked another 7 years. You know what I'm talking about? He worked another 7 years. And then when he said, hey, you ain't gave me my wages, what I'm supposed to get, what he said, man, give me my wives, cuz. And everything a man's supposed to do for his wife, he did it. He said, would that happen today? Would that be fornication? You mean in regards of a man giving both of his daughters to a man? Yes. Because you ain't supposed to have sex with 2 sisters. You know what I'm saying? Law tell you that. Yeah, you ain't supposed to be messing with two siblings. That is unlawful. Let me get that for you. Come over here to Leviticus. I think it's in chapter 20. No, Leviticus 18 and 18. Neither shall you take to a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness besides the other in her lifetime. Meaning, man, you can't mess with two sisters if one of them still. If you married, you fooling with one sister, you can't fool with the other one till the one you fooling with dead. So, if somebody was to give a man both of his daughters, that would absolutely be a transgression against Yahuwah. Because he can only be with one of them while the other one's still alive. You know what I'm saying? You also have to remember also with Laban did not serve Yahuwah. Laban was an idolater. And how do we know Laban is an idolater? Because she took his idols and hid him in the tent and then sat upon him and told her daddy she was on a menstrual cycle. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Eric. Absolutely. Indeed. So, again, and because we were talking about this yesterday, about opinions and societal norms and things of this nature. And now, one thing Gadal said is something I done told y'all before. You cannot push the godly standard on people who don't keep it. You know what I'm saying? You can rebuke their behavior, but you can't hold them to that because they never agreed to participate in that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you come across a homosexual and you say, hey, I don't agree with that behavior. We talked about that before. We got more smoke for people outside the house than people inside the house who doing the same thing. You ain't got no smoke for them. You know what I'm saying? So if I seen a dude with two sisters in the world, I ain't got nothing to say to this dude because he don't care about that standard anyway. You know what I'm talking about? For me to just be random, hey brother, you know that's wickedness. You think he care about that? But if it's somebody inside the house and he messing with two sisters, oh, you wicked as hell. What is you doing? We don't do that in here. You know what I'm saying? Nah, brother, you're going to have to get him out of here. We don't condone or promote that type of behavior. You yelling at my baby? You bothering her? No. You got a name right? Yeah. What she say? I just said more. So you just were thinking, looking at that yesterday, that's the reason to leave those gods in the past? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Indeed, Emma, everybody think they have a heaven or hell in their pockets to condemn non-believers to. Non-believers already condemned. What did Paul tell you? He said those that are outside the house are already judged. He said, is that what? Now, John was sent on a mission. John was supposed to be going. Sometimes he sends certain prophets and men of that nature to rebuke men in authority. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's what he was on. John was rebuking men in authority. You know what I'm talking about? Because Jeremiah did the same thing. You know, he sent them to kings and rebuked them for their conduct. Same way that Nebuchadnezzar got rebuked for his conduct. But more so, Mother Sharon, when you're dealing with like everyday life people, then people didn't agree to that covenant to keep that standard. So there's no reason to be running up on them, rebuking them for their behavior, especially if you sitting around fellowshipping with people who doing the same thing and you say nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked as hell and unjust. Because remember, let me just read it. Says, as a matter of fact, the women in the polygyny call themselves sister wives. Whoa, ain't it? That's wild, ain't it? A sister wife. How you sister wives? Y'all ain't related. They got the same daddy. Not the same seed, but the same daddy. My God, today. Now you won't butt. That's how they kicking it. 1 Corinthians 5 and 12. For what have I do to judge them also that are without? Do you not judge them that are within? But them that are without, Elohim judge. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person. That means the people outside the house that's doing X, Y, Z, God gonna judge them. So leave them alone. You know what I'm talking about? That's not my business. See, people who outside the house, you preach the gospel to them at the hopes that they might turn from opposing themselves and deliver their souls. It's not your job to judge or correct them. That's not your job. Why would you be spending your time trying to correct a sinner? They're a sinner. What you expect from them? What we read last night? You expect something straight for something that's crooked? That's crazy. Back to Ephesians 5 and 2. Where you going, Paul? Hey, who doing all that crying? It sounds like you're not listening. That's why you upset. Fat baby, be quiet. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You okay? Ephesians 5 and 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Mashiach also loved the assembly and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. He might present it to himself an esteemed assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that it should be kadosh and without blemish. So men ought to love their wives as their own bodies. He that love his wife, love himself. What John 3 and 16 say? What's the gist of Songs of Solomon 8 and 6? That love is strong as death. And if a man could give up all of his substance for love, it would be utterly condemned. So when you look at men ought to love their wives as their own bodies, well, Elohim loved his wife enough that he was willing to sacrifice his own body so that he could come back in a new body and make her new. Because Elohim is love, he never hated himself. That's why he never hated his wife. That's the example that the man's supposed to follow. That's why he led with the example of Mashiach laying his life down for his wife, and that the man should do the same thing. Girl, hush. No, you don't. You just want to get up. Verse 29. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord the assembly. And what does that mean? Did the Lord ever hate his wife? Y'all remember what nourish mean, don't you? Bring to maturity. He brought his wife to maturity, a full age. That's a man's job to do for his wife. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, shall be joined unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery. I speak concerning Mashiach and the assembly. So that means when we read that in Genesis 2, when Adam said that, he was talking about the Lord and his wife. For those who don't know, that means he left his father and mother, meaning he left his father, meaning Yahusha, Yahuwah, left Abba, however you want to put it, and he came to be joined unto his wife. That's what he did. You know, these dudes have come up with a new Godhead argument. Well, not a new Godhead argument. They've come up with a new way to have the Godhead conversation. Was there two creators or one? For me personally, if the book say the Son of God made everything, then that's what it is. That's just what it is. No, he gave her away. Gave her to the apostle. For me, I wouldn't argue none of that. If the book say the man did it, then he did it. How you trying to rationalize how he did it? This is the problem with these niggas, man. And sometimes I wonder if these niggas got sons. Some men set certain things up for their sons. Go handle that, son. Kings don't get off their throne to do laborious tasks, man. Now, whether you feel like he told him what to do, it don't matter, nigga. If the son did it, it don't take nothing away from the father because the father commissioned it. I stamped him. That's my son. His name, my name is his name. His name is my name. When you see him, you see me because that's my boy. I don't know what's so hard for niggas to understand. Unless they got sons and they hate them. I think these niggas hate their sons. Hell, I think most of these niggas hate themselves. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, Chris. Well, go ahead, Chris. Unless you did that by accident. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife as himself, and see that the wife reverence her husband. So what are you gathering from what he's telling you? That the man should love his wife as he loves himself, and the woman should respect her husband. Okay, you good. Let's come back to First Peter. You ain't had to leave. I think she's thinking all you had to do was just decline it. All you had to do was just hit maybe later, and then it'd took it away. You ain't have to leave. Now again, we're just rehearsing verse 7 again. Likewise, you husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, and give honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Why you all in my phone, cuz? So you all in my camera. What you call it? Just to rehash, what is the weaker vessel? Weaker is Athanace, weak, infirm, and feeble. Strengthless, more feeble, impotent, sick, without strength, weaker. What is vessel? Remember that is scales, that's a vessel, but most importantly, a wife as contributing to the usefulness of her husband. Now he say to give honor, time, valuing by which the price is fixed, the price paid or received for person, thing, bought or sold, honor which belongs or is shown to one, the honor which one has by reason of rank, state of office which he holds, deference or reference, dignity itself, esteem of the highest degree, and being heirs together. Heirs in this instance is son clarinamos, a fellow heir, a joint heir, one who obtains something assigned to himself with others, a joint participant. So let's go back to Genesis, right? Let's talk about Adam and Eve. Where do you see Adam ascribing honor to Eve? Because he does do it. Where do you see it at? Where do you see Adam ascribing honor to Eve? Anybody? That would be correct, Ron. That would be correct. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 1. And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living. This is ascribing honor to her because this is based off of her station, the office that she holds. You know what I'm talking about? That's a level of honor. That's honor. That's esteem. See, honor is not always somebody telling you how great you are. No, they hadn't had children yet. No, that's just they had sex. You know what I'm saying? When they say he knew her, that translates to he knew her carnally. That's not honor. That's sex. Ain't nothing honorable about nobody dropping no meat off him. It ain't. It's simple. But did I finish Matthew 19? I did. Come back to Matthew 19. Keep that in mind, and then we'll come back to that. The next one we'll look at is because he said, look unto Sarah who bare you. Obviously, Sarah was of faith because she conceived the child in her old age and brought it to term. So it say to look at her because this is a faithful woman who had respect for her husband, but also reverence. And then we have to look at, did Abraham show honor to the weaker vessel, and if so, how? Because she's a joint heir with him. We'll come back to Matthew 19. I'm in verse 7. They say unto him, why did Moses command to give a writing of a divorcement and to put her away? He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. So listen to what he told you. From the beginning, it wasn't what? You know what be niggas be screaming that Abraham had multiple wives when he only had one because they trying to count Hagar?
Yeah.
That wasn't his wife. Abraham was only married to Sarah, and he didn't marry Keturah till Sarah died. Isaac was only married to Rebekah till he died.
Is it because when they look at the word and say wife?
Yeah. So they be like, that's his wife. Because that's how they describe sexual intercourse. You know what I'm saying? And that's how sexual intercourse is described if it's not done in an ungodly fashion. Hey, boy, sit up, man. Sit up. If you want to lay down, you got a bed at home to lay down in. Verse 9. And I say unto whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, commit adultery, and whoso marry her which is put away do commit adultery. Now here goes the question, that's what we came here for, that the disciples asked. His disciples say unto him, if the case of man be so with his wife, is it not good to marry? Because now these boys concerned. You know what I'm saying? And it's a reasonable question. Some people look at Yahushua and say, how are we going to listen to him? He wasn't married. He was married to Israel. They looking at a natural woman. He had a wife. Every last one of you hard-headed niggas. But I'm about to ask a question in a moment, and I want to see who's skillful enough to answer this question. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which are born from their mother's womb. There are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the Malkuth for Shamahim's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. Now, I'm going to tell you what a eunuch is. Of course, that is eunuchos, a bed keeper, a bed guard, a superintendent of a bedchamber, a chamberlain. In the palace of Oriental monarchs who support numerous wives, the superintendent of the woman's apartment or harem or office held by eunuchs. An emasculated man, a eunuch. A eunuch in Oriental courts, held by other officers of greater, held by the Ethiopian eunuch. One naturally incapacitated for marriage or begetting children, or one who voluntarily abstains from marriage. Now, it's also an impotent or unmarried man. Now, when you look in the Old Testament, can anyone mention any notable men who were literally unmarried men? Because Paul and Yahushua are not the only eunuchs you see in this book. See, Daniel would be considered to be one, along with the 3 young men who were with him, and these men were not castrated. There's another one who Yahuwah explicitly told to remain unmarried. Jeremiah. No, Samuel had sons. It's possible it don't lay it out. Samson got yams before. Samson got yams from a prostitute and all. Samson was like your husband's favorite song. You know what that is? He was been stroking. That's what he. You know that is that's what his people used to play. You ain't know that? Yes. I see. No, he was not. Yahuwah told him explicitly, don't marry anybody in this place. I'm trying to find it now. Ruth A. You acting up. Jeremiah 16 and 1. Yeah, that's what they just mentioned Elijah. It's you could insinuate Elijah was unmarried. It don't explicitly say, but you definitely don't see nothing. But I ain't gonna say that because you don't see that with a lot of them. Now it mentions Isaiah had a wife and kids, because it says in Isaiah 8 that his wife was a prophetess. I'm trying to think. It don't really mention that Zechariah or Nahum or Habakkuk was married. It don't mention that Jonah was married. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think. It don't mention that Obadiah is married. It don't mention that Amos was married. Ezekiel was married because he told him to he talked about Ezekiel's wife. You know what I'm saying? So on some instances, I don't want to go out off the top and say this person wasn't married just because it wasn't there. Because it's not necessarily going to give that great detail with everybody. But with Jeremiah, you finna see Yahuwah explicitly told him not to get married. Let's look and see. So when dudes say it's a commandment for you to be fruitful and multiply, if that was a commandment, Yahuwah wouldn't have commanded Jeremiah to see. That's right. His wife died because he had her more. Absolutely. Jeremiah 16 and 1. The word of Yahuwah came also unto me, saying, you shall not take you a wife, neither shall you have sons and daughters in this place. Yeah, Hosea married a prostitute, married a whore. A harlot. So you can see the love that Yahuwah had for Yasharal, who looked to other gods and loved flagons of wine. She was a harlot. Whore. You shall not take you a wife. It's possible, because it don't lay out why they thought that Hamashiach was Jeremiah, but it's definitely possible. I'd put money on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't speak for why them people thought he was, because it doesn't lay it out. But as far as like going through the testimony and lining it up, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Verse 2, Jeremiah 16. You shall not take you a wife, neither shall you have sons and daughters in this place. But thus saith Yahuwah concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land, they shall die grievous death, they shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, they shall be consumed with the sword, by famine, by carcasses, their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the earth. Yeah, now he mentioned Elisha. Elisha is the same token. It don't mention that he had a spouse, but he could have. You know what I'm saying? He could have. The only ones with Daniel, because in Daniel, with him and Mishael, Azariah, and the other one, it mentions that they were eunuchs. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at that. And you see with Jeremiah, he explicitly told him not to get married, because he was going to kill everybody. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want him crying for his wife and kids, because if you have them, I'm going to kill them, and you're going to be sad, but I'm going to kill them. Because these people trying them. Daniel 1, verse 3. And the king spake unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the sons of Yasharal, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom is no blemish, well favored and skillful in all wisdom, cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as has the ability in them to stand in the king's palace, whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. In this instance, with Daniel them, being eunuchs, they were chamberlains. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you eunuch in Hebrew, but they were chamberlains. Well, this is Aramaic. I'm sorry. Both of y'all be quiet. Now, this is Saris, Samak, Raj, and Samak. Official eunuch, meaning to castrate a eunuch. A valet, especially of the female apartments, and thus a minister of state, a chamberlain, a eunuch, an officer. In this instance, they were eunuchs because they were ministers of the state. You know, Daniel ended up becoming president. So they're eunuchs in this instance, not necessarily from not getting married, though that can be included. They're eunuchs because they were ministers of the state. No. I hope that makes sense. No, I don't lay that out because you know it's ambiguous. Because say with the other apostles, they may have been married, but the only one that mentions directly about having a wife is Peter and John, the son of Zebedee, Shalom. So, you know, it'll be a lot of inferring going on. With Jeremiah, we can see that plainly and specifically because he told him not to do it. So everybody can't be a eunuch. Also, the other instance, the opposite of a female, the reverse for a female being a eunuch is what we read in Judges with Jephthah's daughter when she mourned in her virginity. Because she's going to abstain from marriage. See, it's not just yam punching. They ain't just booty cheek grabbing. These people were getting married. You know what I'm saying? See, in this society, everybody just hunching. You know what I'm talking about? Trying to get your rocks off, get your little frisk. You know what I'm talking about? Nevertheless, back to 1 Peter 3. Oh, my bad. With what's his name? Sarah and Abraham. Now we have to look at where did Abraham show honor to his wife? I'll allow it. Yahuwah did that, but I'll allow it. Now that's a little different. Yeah, you know, her name got changed after he got circumcision. Let's take a look. Genesis 21. Who that is doing all that talking? (21 and 9). Now, this is important. I can read this in 1 Corinthians 7, right? You as a man, once you say, I'm entering into covenant with Yahuwah, and you put on the firstborn son, then you become an inheritor of the rights of the firstborn, and your wife consequently becomes a joint inheritor with you. Now, of course, she can disinherit herself if she chooses to go against Yahuwah, but that's not the point of why I'm mentioning that. You understand what I'm talking about? She's an heir with you. And you have your examples of that because Eve was an heir with Adam. Sarah's an heir with Abraham. Rebecca is an heir with Isaac. Rachel and Leah are heirs with Jacob. Because the inheritance that he had, they would receive. And because of their obedience, guess who else got to be heirs with them? Their children. This is part of why the book says a good man leave an inheritance to his children's children. Because of their faithfulness, that inheritance gets pushed down to their children. Remember what he said in the law of Deuteronomy 30, if you keep all this law, it'll be good for who? After you. You know what I'm talking about? See, the righteous obedience of faith allows the inheritance to be given to your children. The unrighteous disobedience of faith, and you disinherit not only yourself, but your children after you. Genesis 21:9. And Sarah saw the son Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son. Elohim said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in your sight because of the lad and because of your bondwoman, and all that Sarah hath said unto you, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall your seed be called. And also the son of the, and we're not going to read all that. Now, what's the purpose of me looking at this? The simple fact that he hearkened unto her voice is showing honor unto the weaker vessel. And also to the point of what we were talking about when we looked at the definition of quiet and meek spirit. Do you remember what a quiet spirit is? Stop playing. Stop playing. Who remembers what that means? It don't mean quiet as forth as audible speech. No. Hey, it was just Wednesday. Y'all be smoking marijuana? I know Doris do. You look like you smoke him. You want the male part of the plant. So I ain't no lesbian. You knew that, didn't you? I was meant to say hash. You knew that, didn't you? Hash is the male part of the plant. Marijuana is the female part of the plant. She was only copping nicks. She wasn't even doing that. She was smoking other people's weed. She was a Hoover. You ever seen Half Baked? Snoop Dogg was a Hoover. That's when you looking to smoke everybody else, but you ain't never got your own. So you a Hoover. Hoover Crip. Hoover Deuce. Hoover Deuce. Y'all say meek and humble. No, that's not the definition for quiet in that verse. But it's, I ain't even, that junk is hilarious. He said, you ever seen the dude who see everything on weed? He said, you ever seen the $20 bill on weed? Yeah, John Stewart was clowning on that. That is correct, Mika. When you look at quiet spirit, I can allow that, Mother Strong. When you look at quiet spirit in that passage, it's saying a restful spirit. Remember, we went and read it. A calm spirit. You know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with speaking or not. Let me get that for you. Quiet. Asakios. Quiet. Tranquil. Keeping one's seat sedentary by implication. Undisturbed. Peaceable. Quiet. This is having a quiet spirit is having a spirit of faith where you are unmoved. Undisturbed. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of individual. He said that's very valuable to him. Has nothing to do with talk. Now I'm gonna say this here. If you were the man who you gotta correct all the time, what you married this nigga for? It's one thing to do like what Sarah did. Hey, check this out. Woo, woo, woo. It's another thing that you, because at that point, do you want a husband or do you want a son? You know what I'm talking about? Because some women move to the fact that you're trying to mother this man. And he gonna resent you, and you're gonna have negative interactions with this man over time. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be with no man who you feel like you gotta check all the time. Now, of course, we already read, he said, that if you got an unbelieving husband, you're supposed to win him without the word. And again, regardless male or female or not, you should want to win people over with your conduct, because you can make your mouth fry fish, but your actions gonna talk loud. And most people don't want their actions to speak for them. Always remember what Jacob told Laban, what he told him. My righteousness is going to speak for me. I don't have to go back and forth with you. I ain't got to prove nothing to you. When I leave from here, the righteousness that I show forth to Yahuwah, that I was just in all my dealings, is going to speak for me. I ain't got to do all that. We only get caught up in that because that be the carnal. Look here, right? Let's just keep it a beam, right? You know this already. Nobody wants to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be diminished or pushed to the side. But it had to come a point in time where I ain't got to prove nothing to you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. Cause I'm telling you, man, whether you agree with it or not, in general, probably about 80% of men are not going to sit there and constantly be rebuked, checked, and corrected by no woman, and he going to continually desire her for the rest of his days. It's just not going to happen. I ain't saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you it's not going to happen. You're gonna run into some conflict after a while. You know what I'm saying? The same token on, as a man, I don't think you should want to be with no woman who you got to check 24/7. Yes. Because that means you married the wrong person if you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you showing her what to do, yes. Man, you know what checking somebody is. You know exactly what that is. Now you're trying to play dumb in my class. Checking someone is literally correcting them, rebuking them, chastising them.
Yeah, me too. That's why I asked again.
No, I know what you're talking about. You got to constantly check for why you with this man. It's another thing if you do. It's another thing if there's an issue arising and Sarah saying, "Hey, this woman, her son can't inherit my son. You got to get them up out of here." You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you mention it, something's happening and you're making a statement. You didn't check this man. You saying, "Hey, check this out. This what's going on. This what I need you to." Because she didn't tell him what to do. She told him, "Hey, this here. This not gonna work." Now, still, whose decision was it to make? It was Abraham's decision because he could have told her hell no. Clearly, he probably was finna tell her hell no. And what happened? Yahuwah say, "Hey, man, listen to your wife, blood. She ain't telling you nothing wrong. Listen to your wife." You got to remember these human beings. He was wrestling with this. He like, "This my boy. My son. It's my blood. Firstborn." She like this here. Hell no, this nigga over here. Because Abraham was not privy to the fact that Ishmael was mocking the son. He wasn't privy to that. She was the same way that Isaac was. Hey, pull him now. That jump blind him out. The same way that Isaac wasn't privy to what Yahuwah said to Rebekah. They weren't privy to that. He wasn't privy that the elder. Isaac wasn't privy that the elder shall serve the younger. God damn. That's good. You had to close it all the way just to where the sun ain't in my face. That's fun. Thanks. That's all. One thing that you can never forget, I don't know how many times I have to stress it. These were real people. No, I'm talking about real people. They're dealing with real emotions. Like, it's a real human being. He wrestling with this like this my son. His wife ain't tell. She didn't make a demand. She just let him know, "Hey man, he can't inherit it. They gotta go." Now, does it mention why she told him they had to go? No. Does that mean she didn't say why they had to go? No, that don't mean she didn't say that. Just that they didn't write it down. But it was Abraham's decision to make. And if he would have said he ain't leaving, guess what she would have did? She would have yielded to her husband. And clearly for Yahuwah to intervene, Abraham was tilting towards I ain't going to do that. Because he literally said, "Don't make it grievous to yourself, son." Send her on up out of here. Because in Isaac, your seed going to be called. Now, of course, you know, in Galatians, it gives you the contrast that Ishmael represents children born of the flesh, and Isaac represents children born of the word. That's why Ishmael is there in the first place. It's to give a spiritual contrast later on down the line. They didn't know that when they were doing it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, same way he had to cut. Joseph finna get rid of Mary. Man, you come home, your old lady talking about she pregnant. I ain't got them yams. Like this here say, what gotta say? We say, who did this to you? Gator girls better be wearing jimmies. You know what I'm talking about? He like, who did this? Why is you pregnant? How is you pregnant? Shoot, she probably ain't even say nothing. Shalom, 10K.
I don't know.
You don't know. Gabriel had to come through. Whoa. Be easy, baby. You got to tell him what's going on. Because the Malachim done told Mary what's going on. But Joseph don't know. So how you expect him to respond? Oh, hell no. You got dudes that talking about, yeah, man, you know, Joseph and Mary had sex. What type of nigga get rid of his wife who he got pregnant in the book say he was a righteous man? You nigga wicked as hell. Any nigga who get rid of his woman, he know he got her pregnant. And look here, right? Because the reality of the situation is you can know you got a woman pregnant, but you really don't know if you got her pregnant or not. Because the reason why I say that is you ain't with nobody 24/7. You don't know when a person ain't around you. You don't know who they with. You don't know what they doing, and you don't know where they been. That's why Maury was what he was. Him too. And I ain't saying that to be disrespectful. I'm just saying that period. It doesn't matter who it is. If you ain't around a person, man, you don't know what they doing. You don't know where they at, and you don't know who they with. You have an inkling that you think you know, but in reality, man, I say that because, man, I ain't never stressed myself in my life worrying about where this woman at, who she with, and what she doing. Because if she want to give her vagina away, it's good. It's given away. No, absolutely not. You know why? Because it's a lot of niggas who felt just like how you felt. They found out that wasn't their baby. It's not.
And you see that skit with Cat Williams when he was in jail?
Yeah. Oh, that was in a movie. That was a movie. No. Yeah, when you talk about who white baby is this? See, just because you name him Darren don't mean it. I mean, for a woman, you look at it like that because you want this man to all in, never doubt you. And it's men who done that and found out that baby wasn't there. But you know what? You think it's very disrespectful, and then women do things to the equivalent of that, and then you shocked when he say that's disrespectful. Asking me where I've been, asking to go on my phone, questioning me about this. What's the difference?
Is that right? That's right.
But the difference is, but all jokes aside, the difference is you know 100% that that's your baby. That man don't know that 100%. He got to take your word for it. You got to take your word for it. Look here, you cannot look past anybody above that which is written. I ain't gonna be offended for nothing because you ain't gonna look through my goddamn phone. I get all that, but see, that's a little different. It's a whole nother thing till you looked in a man's eyes and he found out that a baby that he thought was his wasn't his. You wouldn't understand that level of pain because that's just devastating. And it happens. That happens.
We gotta do that with the school with all of us. Like, he ain't find out what's like
Shoot, my homeboy ain't found out till his son was 5. And we was with him when he got the news. That nigga was devastated. You know what I'm saying? He was devastated. She said, I've seen people explain the virgin birth in many ways. The most recent was, yeah, I don't even listen. Say there's a movie on Netflix about Mary to see her as human and how embarrassed she was to be called a lying whore. She was shunned by the community. My God, today. Look here, right? Don't get me wrong. From a woman's point of view, I could understand why you would feel disrespected. But that's only because you're not looking at it from his point of view. There are a lot of people that way, and you don't have to worry about it. See, I ain't gonna lie to you. When a woman respond that way, that was what made dudes think, well, damn, this probably ain't my baby. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be no problem. It made no difference. You're gonna be the damn fool. But a lot of dudes don't do that because they thinking you doing X, Y, Z. Niggas don't really know. I mean, most dudes don't ask. Some dudes go get DNA tests on their kids after they're born and never say nothing to you, just to make sure that that's their baby. Yeah, a lot of dudes do. They got to make sure. Hey, that's just the world that we live in. You feeling like he should know I ain't gave my coochie away, but how can he know that? He's not with you 24/7. I don't know what you doing when you're not with me.
Right.
You know how many girls I knew who was with another dude and they had a dude and he thinking she this, that, then the third, and she over here with this nigga. Hitting pumps. She thinking he around here doing XYZ, he over there doing the bending. Yeah, man. When somebody, and I'm not saying that for people to be, I'm not saying that for people to not have trust for their spouse. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reality of the situation is this. If you not with nobody 24/7, so you don't know what nobody doing when they not in your presence, and I'm not finna concern myself with it. I never have, and I won't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna do it. I ain't gonna be worried about wonder who she with. If I gotta do all that, I already know I got the wrong woman. I told you when I was 19, I was fooling with a chick, she was really just getting on my nerves. And the old head, I told y'all this when I was working at Lee's Chicken, he told me, where you old lady at right now? I say, nigga, I don't know. Who she with? Nigga, I don't know. Then why do you care? What nigga I know? She just got on my nerves. Because you can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop it. If somebody is going to participate in infidelity, you cannot stop it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. If that is what that person wants to do, they gonna do it. Ain't no going through the phone, ain't no following a nigga, ain't no why you doing this here. If you doing all that, you expending too much energy in the wrong thing. I got better things to do than worry about what this woman doing with her vagina. I got better things to do. Because like I said, if you got to do all that, what that mean, Lil Johnny? You with the wrong woman. You with the wrong woman. That's all that means. Look here, most dudes have kids, and the first thing they looking for in jit is what? Facial features. But then you got dudes who they thought that kid looked like them and found out that's still what they jit. Like I say, that's not to be disparaging to ladies, because I can understand how disrespectful somebody who ain't did that would feel if they was asked that. Don't get me wrong. People like, this nigga done tried the hell out of me. But then again, boy, that's an ugly feeling. You find out it ain't your jit, boy. That's about the only thing close to that is somebody dying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that'd be the ugly part too. Why dudes be really wanting to know? Because if you sign that birth certificate and you do all that other stuff and you find out that jit ain't yours, by law you still got to take care of that baby. See with us, since everybody in here married, it's automatically your child. You don't have to sign no birth certificate. You ain't got to do none of that. As far as the state is concerned, paternity is automatically established to you. So you have to actually petition for paternity tests early in that process, because after a while they're gonna be like, it don't matter if it's not yours, you got to pay child support. Because I remember Kevin Samuel told this story about a dude. He was divorced from his wife, was separated, but they got divorced because she was pregnant. But because she gave birth before the divorce was finalized, he was liable for the baby, even though it wasn't his, because they were married. So when you're married in most states, as soon as you get, because like I never seen the birth certificate for either one of them children. Nobody brought nothing to sign because you don't have to sign it in the state of Florida. Paternity for married couples is automatically established. Oh, that's like that in most states, but it's automatically established. You're married. There's no need to say who the father is. You come in there and you say you married, who's your husband? Once you give his name, paternity is automatically established. Now, when you're not married, that's when they go to asking you all these questions and they ask this person to do X, Y, Z. But when you're married, ain't nothing to think about. Oh yeah, if your name is on the birth certificate for a child, even if the child, Mika, is found not to be yours, in most states you can still be liable to pay child support depending on how long it was before you can test the paternity. That's just how it goes. Now that varies from state to state. But yeah, you can still be liable. Matter of fact, because I just told D this morning, I seen a clip of some Tyler Perry show and it's got that Eva Pickford chick. You know the chick used to be on Tyra Banks' modeling show. She married a dude. Dude adopted her child. She divorced the dude, and dude has to pay child support.
Hey. Come on.
Yeah, she has to. Now, for the most part, it don't. It don't. But that junk just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I look at certain things, it's not a good thing or a bad thing. Shoot, man, I remember when I was young, the girl I used to fool with, she looked me dead in the face and was like, I don't care if you get me pregnant, you better go get a blood test. Because a lot of women out here be playing games. Like I say, the only women who, look at, man, you got some women who, y'all seen them on Maury. Like, you be like, boy, I know them his kids. But she knew she was lying the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's some of them you be like, I know they be on that line, but I think she might be telling the truth. I hope it back on here. This are 4 different dudes. You know, it's a tight situation. But we know overwhelmingly, most women don't play them type of games. But I do know they say probably, I think the last time I looked at it, they say maybe 30 to 40% of men are raising kids that aren't theirs. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. I think it's closer to the 30 than the 40, but 40 is ridiculous. Because that means 2 out of every 5 men are raising kids that aren't theirs. You know what I'm saying? That's an ugly situation. I only see clips of paternity court on Reels, but they definitely be wilding on paternity court. Oh, you be watching? I be watching that? Yeah, I bet you do. Bet you do. Square head. I mean, that's it's just ugly. I mean, there's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? But you can look at Proverbs 31. That's why you got to make sure you got a woman where you can believe and move like this. Brother Dave say it's 30% in Jamaica. God, that's 3 out of 10, boy. That's tough. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. My personal opinion, why I think it's that high is a lot of women be stepping out on they dude. You know what I'm saying? And instead of acknowledging that they did that, when they find out they pregnant, they just roll with it. It'd be like, well, shoot. He'll never find out. 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman for a price as far above rubies? The heart of her husband do safely trust in her, so he shall have no need of spoil. So when you turn around and look at that showing honor to the weaker vessel, do you remember what the Hebrew word for virtuous is? I still got to read about these properties. Strong. Well, what makes this woman strong? Say a lot of men sign voluntary paternity documents in hospital without a doubt. I believe it. I say I ain't never signed neither one for mine. I ain't never seen their birth certificate. Them people ain't bring me nothing in that hole. Shoot, when Jamal got born, I thought I was going to jail. I damn sure was finna kill Buddy, and now I ain't like his attitude. I ain't like neither one of them white men's attitude. I'm talking about the doctor and what do you call it, the nigga who bring the anesthesia, whoever he is. But the doctor, I'm man, Pussy Cracker, that's my wife, nigga. I ain't no random nigga in here, nigga. I know what's wrong with you. Well, I will slap the fire out you in this hole. Yeah, I don't know what you got going on, cuz. But that made me realize when my mama died and they brought the security guard with the pistol, I ain't know they had security guards in there with the pistol. Nah, I wasn't, not with him. It wasn't no security guards in that paternity ward. Buddy was gonna catch that work. I ain't like that attitude. You say what you want. I ain't like his attitude. He was complete. He was disrespectful. He didn't like the fact that she signed a waiver because she wanted to have a vaginal birth. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't like the way he was talking to her. I ain't like the way how he was trying to dismiss me all the way around the board and dismiss what we requested. You know what I'm saying? Just disrespect. You know what I'm talking about? His bedside manner was terrible. We was at the same hospital she was at. Yeah, I'm finna whoop, buddy. Then the anesthesia man, I'm telling him, like, look at her, bro. I said, what? Hey, man, well, if my wife dying here, you going with her, cuz? He thought, I'm not playing with you. Like, boy, you going with her. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we was at the hospital that Joanne was born in, it was different. Them ladies was in there, was very accommodating. Now, I ain't gonna say that for the female nurses over there. The female nurses was cool. It was the doctor. That nigga was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But what hospital Joanne was born in? What's the name? The one on St. Vincent. We was in St. Vincent's on Gate Parkway. Those ladies were excellent. They were excellent. Yeah, they were excellent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, you was at Baptist Clay? That's what Jamal was doing? Yeah, I ain't like them. I ain't like them. That's right. Yeah, because I when my mama died there, she died in Clay County. I don't know, but Buddy was finna get whooped in that hole.
I feel like my sister said, if they feel like you don't know, a lot of them just try to get over it. And then some of them, like, once they find out you know, it's like, okay, let's do what we're supposed to do. And then some just really don't feel. She's like, some is really just a job.
For sure. Yeah, I would, Buddy. I would, Buddy. Yeah. Yeah, because I got a couple of my friends, they was like, well, you need to sue them because they felt like that hospital around there killed Mom Deuce. They were hot about that. I said, man, that can't prove that junk. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? But I know that doctor there, when she wanted to sign that waiver, he was condescending. And I hate condescension. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting right there, and you being disrespectful. And he don't know I'm going to punch you in your mouth, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is you talking to? What's wrong with you? Like, come on, man. That junk ain't cool. You say you don't receive the birth certificate, you have to pay the state for the birth certificate. Cost you $14. Y'all paid for y'all birth certificate for y'all too? Yeah. Oh, you know you got to pay for it because it's on stock paper, baby. They trading that on the stock market. You getting traded right now. Well, maybe not right now. They closed today. Yeah, your social. Sister Regina said the same thing. Doctors very different. Yeah, them people. I told my homeboy that because his wife pregnant. My homeboy in Charlotte. But y'all already know that. Your wife pregnant, well, you need to be in that hole. You need to advocate for her because if you don't, they gonna try to run a game, boy. Yeah, it don't matter what hospital you at, they all gonna do it. You got to go in there with the attitude that they all gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, the doctor, when she had Joanne, that black woman was very peaceable, very understanding, and patient. She ain't she like, this what you want to do, we can do it. This is what we looking at. I'm feeling nervous, but it's y'all call. Buddy just telling us what we finna do. Look here, Crocker. I will kick you in your throat. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got no problem with it. I've been to jail before. Ain't no big deal. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no big deal. Like my old lady won't beat the brakes off you, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm gonna call the police and tell them, what's the problem? 911, you have an emergency? I just whoop the doctor in here, come pick him up. He ain't even got to go far.
Pick him up.
You can take him to the room around the corner, come pick him up. For real, I don't get mad often. He was pissing me off. You know what I'm talking about? Let me show y'all what safely to trust in, man, because you got to make sure you got you a woman who your inward man can safely trust in. When you look at safely trust, it's batak, which you already know, to have confidence, to feel secure, to be careless. You know what I'm saying? That you won't have no need of spoil. Spoil in this instance is shalal, and that's spoil or booty, plunder. You know, it'll be pillaged. You look like you like to pillage, rifle through people's belongings. You're a pilfer. You seen you stealing them lemon heads out the stove. So Bastard baked beans more your type of steal. Huh? That nigga had to think about it. Look at it now later. Right.
No teeth. I ain't gonna take your teeth out with you. That's a real tooth puller.
Now let's take a look at Mashiach showing honor unto his wife or the weaker vessel. Come over here to what? Luke 15. She said the hospital I gave birth at messed up my right hand. After my cesarean, I told the nurse my 2 fingers was numb. The nurse said it was normal after the drugs wore off. I'm seeing a chiropractor now who's a nurse practitioner. She said this isn't normal and I need an MRI. My hand's locked up and my pain is bad. Oh, them people done hit a nerve. Yeah, that sounds like they hit a nerve. When you go to get numbness, that mean probably with that if you got an epidural, that mean them people probably hit a nerve in your back, or you got a bulging disc or something. That's what that sounds like. The fact that she told you it was normal for your fingers to be numb is amazing. So you got that too amongst them? I mean, you would have to prove negligence, Mika, and I don't know how. Lawsuits like that real dicey because you got to prove that them people were negligent. You know what I'm saying? You have to prove they're negligent. Yeah, you have to prove they did something wrong, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, one of the people, a girl I grew up with, she found out my mama died. She asked, I'm like, I can't really say because I wasn't there. I'm like, you can bleed out extremely fast if your fistula hemorrhage. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't there to be able to say like, oh, these people were negligent. You would think that shouldn't happen when you know that there's an issue, but a fistula can hemorrhage at any time, and because it's on a major artery, you can bleed out within a matter of 30 to 60 seconds. You say your epidural too late to do, and too hard to prove direct cause of damages. Say it never. Yeah, that'd be the hard part too, because then people can make mistakes, and in general, they gonna get away with whatever mistakes they make. Whether those mistakes were intentional, whether those mistakes are from incompetence, or whether it's just genuinely a mistake. Because one thing you have to remember, regardless if they doctors or not, nurses or not, they human beings and they can make errors. This is not a 100% thing where they ain't never gonna make a mistake. I know we want to put it in our mind that they should never make a mistake, but these are human beings. But me personally, I think a lot of the mistakes that they make is just from gross incompetence.
Yeah,
they do, and that's where the incompetence comes in at. I mean, I know that we don't care about that, but that's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is that we put too much stock in perfection from human beings in certain areas of vocations that should not be expected. So they ran an IV along the bone in my right and left hand. My left hand fine, but not the right. Well, you might need to see about a lawyer about it then.
What's wrong?
Yeah, that's just I ain't saying right or wrong. It's just hey, you come into that and you thinking, oh, these people, everything gonna be straight. Man, that's a person. Same way nigga mess up your doggone order at the restaurant, the nigga can mess up in there. The only difference is you sitting there looking, I send my food back.
I do, and that man who was in my bag who was professional, I told him to definitely I was waking up, hey, please get him out my bag.
Straight up. She said you just had eye surgery yesterday. He said the way I look at it is, if it's all in the most, now I feel you, man. That junk be a roll of the dice though. Because you're dealing with fallible people who can make mistakes. Like you said, these people, they got these people running 16 to 18 hours. Well, they finna mess up. And it's very hard to prove. Because, yeah, I'm talking about, because when Buddy was giving the stuff, man, I'm looking at her in the eyes. I can see like she finna go in the shop. He told me, no, she straight up been doing this for years. I'm like, pussy cracker, you can't look at it and see. I ain't no goddamn doctor. I ain't no fool, though. He told me, just calm. Ain't no calm down. Calm, but whoop you in here. You know what I'm talking about? He thought I was playing. I'm like, cuz if she die, you dying with her. You can take that however you want to take it. You know what I'm talking about? But I said what I said and I meant what I said. If she don't leave out of here on the same 2 feet she came in here on, you ain't leaving out of here on your 2 feet. You gonna meet God today. You going to hell tonight. You know what I'm talking about? You say I'm looking and say Drew isn't happy about me. I imagine he's not. He going. Dang, he said messed up his spine, had real bad pain. Yeah, man. I mean that. So they creating more health issues than the specialists can handle. I can believe that too, but I meant that though. Like, buddy, you gonna die tonight. Yeah, you gonna die tonight. So Liz, I ain't on that junk with you on, cuz. And that's why I say that. That's why I told my homeboy that. Y'all already know that because y'all wise and gay, bro. Well, you got to be in there, boy, and you got to know what's going on. And if you got a doula, y'all got to be on the same type of time together. Be like, hell no, we not doing that. Just sitting around looking, man, you might be wheeling your wife out to the funeral home, man, fooling with these people, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a part of it. The same way you who will watch over his wife, you got to watch over yours, especially when you're dealing with these people. Man, I don't trust them people like that. You know why I don't trust them people like that? It ain't nothing personal against them, but they don't love your people like you do. You know what I'm saying? They got a job to do. Now, some of them care more than others. You know what I'm saying? That they have a genuine care and concern for their patients. And you can tell them type of doctors and nurses who do that. But at the end of the day, and that's no disrespect to them, man, they don't got no care for your people like that. That's their job. They don't have no emotional connection, care, or regard to nobody who come through them doors, man. So you got to make sure you there. Yeah, you got to do that. Luke 15. You got Michael Glover in this hoe. No, he right there. She looking around. Where he at?
I was just gonna say, man, boy came like Casper.
Boy came in here like Casper. So your chiropractor, a black nurse practitioner. Yeah, because a lot of times when they don't see stuff on the x-ray, they just be like, they don't know what to do. Because them people don't catch everything. You know what I'm saying? My auntie went back and forth to the doctor for over a year before they found out she had leukemia. She knew something wasn't right, though. More than likely, if they would have caught it earlier, she probably would have lived. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't just be what it be. 15:3, Luke. And he spake this parable unto them, saying, what man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, do not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost? Hey, y'all too loud. Those of you who doodle on yourself. Hey, you doing too much. Close your mouth. Come here and sit down. Come on. Come on. Quiet. You ain't got nothing to be crying about. You can't cry because you don't get your way. Leave her alone. She ain't bothering you. What man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, do not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he had found it, he lay it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he come home, he called together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I found my sheep which is lost. Now, I'm mentioning this for a reason, because we're looking at weak or feeble. Do you remember when we looked at infirmities in Romans 15 last night? What that meant? It meant weakness of the mind. So when you're dealing with weak, feeble, and sick, well, what are you sick from? And let me show you something with sick. Isaiah chapter 1. I'm going to wrap this up in a second. I know y'all want to go home and fart and do whatever it is you do. Royal Rumble on tonight. You fart at my house, nigga, you ain't going home. You nasty booty nigga. That's why I got stains on my top. You been over there farting on it. God dang. I can't believe you said that out loud. This nigga here nasty. Isaiah 1:1. That's your friend. You heard your friend? Your friend over here farting in your chest. That's your friend. That's what she just said. She said, I can fart over here. And then she did it.
I said, you can fart here. You said, I know y'all ready to roll because I can fart. We can fart here.
You said in a safe space.
So you just feel comfortable. Pushing out your carbon monoxide in my house.
People pushing out fireworks.
That's why your hair don't grow. It ain't good in 3 weeks. This is Isaiah 1:1. The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amos, when he saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, Maliks of Yehuda. Hear, O Shamahim, and give ear, O Arats, for Yahuwah has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, they have rebelled against me. The ox know his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Yasharal do not know, my people do not consider. Ah, a sinful nation, a people taken with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahuwah. They have provoked the Kadash one of Yasharal unto anger. They are gone away backwards. Why should you be stricken any more? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, the whole heart faint, from the sole of the feet even unto the head. There's no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. When you look at sick, I want to say that's law. Kole, sickness, malady, anxiety, calamity, disease, grief. When you have no soundness in your flesh. That is mathom, that soundness entirety. You have no completeness. So when you look at when he's telling you sick, what is the sickness of man? The sickness of man is sin. So when you look at showing honor to the weaker vessel or showing reverence or respect, this is what it looks like. Let's take a look over here to Luke, what, 18? Look at that. That's what Luke 16. I always get that wrong. Joanne, hush your mouth. See, one thing about Joanne is she's a professional. I don't listen. Come on, Luke 13. That's where I want. 13-10. Like we were having, I forgot what room we was in. We were talking about this, and dudes were saying that the Lord sinned because he healed people on the Sabbath. I'm like, boy, these niggas wicked. But it's the fact of the thought process is somebody is suffering and you heal them and you call that sin because you don't understand what work on the Sabbath is. what's the word they use for labor? It's a word, servile labor. It's what's used for that. Servile labor. It really shows how unmerciful these dudes is, because they would really think the Father in heaven would not show mercy and heal on the Sabbath. 13-10 Luke. And when he was teaching in one of the synagogues on Shabbat, behold, there was a woman which had a spirit of infirmity 18 years and was bowed together, and no wise could lift her up. Let's look at infirmity here. Hey, y'all better sit y'all square head behind down somewhere and be quiet. I don't want to hear all this crap. I got to hear enough from Joanne. I don't want to hear that. Asathenia. Want of strength, weakness, infirmity of the body, native weakness and frailty, feebleness of health or sickness of the soul. I think this is the other word that was used for infirmity in 2 Corinthians 12. And when Yahushua saw her, he called her to him and said unto her, Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight and esteemed Elohim. This is an example of showing honor to the weaker vessel, what individuals really pay attention to it or not. This is also dwelling with your wife according to knowledge. How is this dwelling with your wife according to knowledge? Stand. Stay stand. Why is your hat full so long? Are you a gangster? You don't want anybody to see your eyes? So you're a gangster. You just live. Isaiah, what you doing in my hallway, cuz? Huh? Y'all can't tell me how this pertains to dwelling with your wife according to knowledge? If nobody get an answer, he keep getting Ric Flair chops. Dang, boy, your own cousin is 3 young to go. You was like, well, he's just gonna have to get chopped. Y'all gonna lead the boy to get chopped. Turn around, son. How's this dwelling with your wife according to knowledge? So you just want me to chop the boy again? Well, according to Exodus 34:6, right, he is what? I gave you a second already. You failed the test. Guess you'll be in summer school. In this instance, this is graciousness and mercy. So when you're dwelling with your wife according to the knowledge of God, you have to dwell with her according to graciousness and mercy, which is why he said, and we read in Colossians 3, don't make your wife bitter against you. Verse 13, Luke chapter 13. He laid his hands on her, and she immediately was made straight and esteemed Elohim. The ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation because Yahushua had healed on Shabbat, and said unto the people, there are 6 days which men ought to work, and them therefore come and be healed, and not on Shabbat. You know that got to sound like the dumbest thing you ever heard. Oh, you got 6 days to be healed, but don't come from God. Don't come get healing from God today. The one day that everybody gonna be here, don't come here for that. The Lord answered him and said, hypocrite, do not each one of you on Shabbat loose his ox or his ass from the stall and lead him away to water? Ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, who Hashatan had bound, lo, these 18 years, be loose from this bond on the Shabbat? And when he said these things, all his adversaries were ashamed, and all the people rejoiced for the glorious things that were done by him. Don't get healing. Ain't that something? Girl, hush your mouth. Hush. 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 You're crying for no reason. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Let's look at another representation of this. Matthew chapter 9. 9 and 1. Remember what we read in Timothy. He said, if a man don't provide for his own or those of his own house. Now, you'll hear people on the internet say provision is not just monetarily. And I hear people say you have to provide emotionally. I don't even know how that's possible. And if anybody can tell me how that's possible, I'm definitely game to listen. I'm not being funny. I do not know how anyone provides emotionally. I don't even know if that's possible. I wonder, do people understand what provide means? Because I can't provide you with happiness. I can't provide you with joy. I can't provide you with contentment. I can't provide you with security. I can't provide you with any of those things emotionally. You know why? Because they're your emotions and not mine. You know what I'm saying? The only thing an individual can do is behave in a particular way that may have stimulant to your emotions, but I can't provide you any emotion. Like I can provide you $100. You know what I'm saying? It was something that I had to do to acquire the $100. I can give them to you. There's nothing I can do to conjure up an emotion and then give it to you. Now, again, if someone has a different point of view out there, but I don't know how that's possible. I don't know when people started talking like that, but to me, it's the silliest thing I've ever heard. How do you provide emotions? Because even if I do something to you, I don't provide the emotion. The emotion is going to be dictated on how you feel on the inside and how you respond. Because I could do something to make you angry, but you don't have to get angry. Did I provide you with anger, or did you let yourself get angry? I could do something to make you sad, and you could respond differently. Did I provide you with sadness, or did you choose not to be sad? Because to me, it sounds like you're giving your power away to another person to dictate how you feel. And I don't think that anyone should have that level of power. Now, I know some people desire reassurance, but I would believe if you need to be reassured that somebody love and care about you, you probably need to see a therapist. Because you got other riding issues. If you need someone to constantly, if this person marries you, clearly they want to be here.
What's constant? Like every day or every week or every month?
You know what constantly means. Man, I'm gonna tell you something, right? He may not like you, but if a nigga get up and go to work every day to make sure you fed and clothed, he got to have some type of love for you. Reason why I say that, because sometimes you might have behaved in your way and your parents be like, I don't like you right now, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't particularly care for you right now. You know what I'm saying? Forgive, say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean, you know that, because you know how some people say, you need to reassure me. You know what I'm saying? But if reassure you every year for what?
You said they shouldn't have to.
Nobody should have to reassure you they love you if they with you, because their actions should already be showing you that they love you. You need somebody to tell you that, and you want somebody to show you that. Yeah. You lying. Just sat here and lied on the Lord stuff. You want both, lying nigga. See. But does Yahuwah have to reassure you that he God and that he fool with you? No, you don't. That man said, I showed you that one time. Now you either riding with me or you're not. Now there's a difference if he comforts you, but comfort would mean you would be in a situation where you needed comfort. Reassurance means that you're not confident. That's why you want to be reassured. Because you lack confidence. That's a lack of faith. You know what I'm saying? That means you seeking after a sign. And no sign is given to a wicked and adulterous generation. I mean, it's not about a right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? about if he did. Just like what he just Stanley just said. Most women prefer both. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is to be honest though, that's how a lot of women get flim-flam with niggas because niggas is telling you what you want to hear to make you feel reassured, and he really don't fool with you. You know what I'm saying? Say I'm hoping it all. Yeah, he said, now Mika said she recognized her need for confirmation comes from trauma. I'm not saying it's wrong for the man but if you need reassurance, like you pressing him for that, that speaks of an underlying issue that you got. You know what I'm saying? That means that's something that you might want to go look into that. That's what I mean. I can tell you what reassurance means, though, by definition. By definition, it's the action of removing someone's doubts or fears. A statement or comment that removes doubts or fears. And that's why I say that that's an underlying issue, because what you doubting for and what you fearful about. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you take Yahuwah, he removes doubts and fears through what? His word. Because you're supposed to know, I'm not a man. Why should I have to constantly remove your doubts? That's a lack of confidence. And then why are you doubting this person? Why do you doubt they love you? Why do you doubt that they want to be with you? Why are you fearful that they're going to do X, Y, Z? That speaks of an underlying issue that has nothing to do with the other person. You know what I'm saying? That's a you problem. You need to go get that fixed. Because what end up happening is your doubts and fears that spill out onto that other person, and then you can have a lot of negative interactions. And then eventually you'll get your confirmation bias when this person don't want to fool with you no more. You know what I'm saying? Because insecurity means lack of confidence. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with that, if you know this man love you, what are you doubting his love for? What would there be to doubt? Him telling you that don't prove that he love you. It just make your flesh feel better that you heard it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying that there's an underlying issue though. You would want to sort that out. Because most people who are all the way healthy, yeah, a lot of people who are really, really healthy, they don't seek that from their spouse. Like, I don't need you to reassure me because I know by your actions that you love me. So there's nothing, I don't doubt anything. There's no fears on my part. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. Remember when the Lord say, Peter, lovest thou me? He said, Lord, you know I love you. You know what I'm saying? You know that. Peter was getting grieved that he kept asking him that because he's like, bro, you know that. But that wasn't an instance of the Lord wanting to be reassured. You know what I'm saying? He was doing that for a reason. The same way he said, Father, I know you always hear me. There was never any doubt. There was nothing that the Father needed to do to reassure him. Now, some of that stuff ties into stuff you might experience in childhood. It can tie into stuff you experience with other people. You know what I'm saying? To where now when you get with somebody else, you have a level of doubt. You know what I'm saying? But then, of course, y'all know y'all think that stuff's sweet for this nigga to come tell you that. But on the reverse side, for the man, it becomes laborious. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, nigga, I just told you this yesterday. I just wanted to sit here and read my book. You know what I'm talking about? Man, you must have heard that one before.
No, it's just like, she's talking like,
read the book. And here you come. You love me?
yeah.
Nigga, what? Yeah, you be like this here. And then y'all be wondering why he responds that way. He ain't distant, he minding his business. You know what I'm talking about? Mama Steph said exactly, doggone it. Let me sit here and read my book. No, y'all vibes be wrong. That is it. You talking to your nigga friends, then you talking about why I ain't talking to you. Because you're talking to your nigga friends. And I don't want to talk. No, but y'all be wrong every time. No, that's not, don't ask. When you're shooting 0 from 22 from the field, that means every 3-pointer you took, you missed. Don't shoot number 23, because you're gonna be wrong again. I just want to read my book. I just want to watch the game. This is the crazy part. Y'all pick the most inopportune time to come ask a nigga some stuff like that.
Welcome to the right now.
I ain't say play the game. I said watch the game. That's all I'm saying. You sitting there thinking, why he ain't talking to me? Because he watching the game. You know what I'm talking about? But you don't never hear niggas say why you ain't talking to me when y'all on the phone cackling. No, that nigga ain't good. He don't give a damn. He don't care. You know what he thinking? Better she talking to them than me. He said, I just like to hear it. It ain't got to be every day. I know it. I'm just messing with y'all, man. Nah, you ain't got to ask for no sign of confirmation, nigga. You just got to do what's right. Hold on, y'all. Whoa. I'm trying to read this. Hey, Joanne. She asked, when Gideon asked you who would have shown a sign before, was that wrong? Nah, Gideon had doubt. Gideon had doubt. When he asked, because Gideon said he was the least in his father's house. So in that instance, Gideon had doubt. That's why he did that. You know what I'm saying? It was rooted in doubt. I mean, really, ain't no other way around it. You got to remember, you ain't got to ask for signs. Remember what the Lord told you. A wicked and adulterous generation looking for a sign, and he ain't going to give you one. You know what the sign is? What the sign is, Lil Johnny? No. What's the sign? The word. The word is the sign. The word is the sign. The word is the sign. You know what I'm saying? The word is the sign. The sign is the word. And I'm not saying that to be funny or to be rude, but literally the sign is the word. Stop. So how do we deal with that if the sign is the word? When the word is in you and you in the word, when you come across certain situations and circumstances, the word will let you know what it is you should do or shouldn't do. He doesn't necessarily have to give you an outside sign to know what to do, because he's already given you his word for you to know what to do. That's right. According to faith, let it be done unto you. And if it's too hard for you to ascertain, and for if it's a decision to make, then you seek him in prayer. You ain't got to ask him for a sign. You just seek him in prayer on what it is that I ought to do, depending on what the situation or circumstances is. But a lot of the times, that sign already in the word. You already know. A lot of times, you already know what to do. You already know what to do. Oh, she said, "Oh, you see a lot of Florida tags. Should you? Without when there, you just you seek you who on that, and then the time appointed, he'll let you know what it is that you should or shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when we see certain things, I see a lot of Florida tags. Is that telling me to move? You know what that? No, I'm serious, because that's what she's saying for herself. Because she's been considered. That's what she just said. No, but it's the thing though. If you seeing that and you thinking, is this a sign telling me to move? It's because probably already in your inward man, that's what you desire to do, or you believe that's what you should do, and you're looking for something to convince you to do what you believe that you already should be doing anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of times. That's how that goes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that specifically on your situation, but a lot of times when you have thoughts and you like, I keep seeing this, this is what I be doing, it's because there's something already in your mind that you know you ought to be doing or you've been thinking on doing and you haven't decided on what you should do. You know what I'm saying? But I understand how that works. That's you being human. Again, you will not be castigated, denigrated, or ridiculed for being human. You know what I'm saying? Because I know in your mind you thinking, I keep seeing this. It's people in the word that I fool with. Should I stay here or should I go down there? But that means it was already in your heart before you saw that. You know what I'm saying? So then you just gotta see how things play out. Yahuwah willing, and then he'll show you which way you ought to go and how you're supposed to do it. Because in all things, whatever it is that's going to be done is to further his will and bring esteem to his name. Well, I already know that, but that's a whole, we can talk about that off the air. We didn't keep on rolling. I was going to read Matthew 9, but we had 3 hours. We'll stop right here. Hallelujah for Yahushua. I appreciate y'all. Bless out the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. We got a lot more to go through on this here. But at least you can be able to ascertain some of the things we looked at, like, hey, uncleanliness with your wife is nakedness. That means that she has sex with another man. That's what Deuteronomy 24 talking about. Just the aspect of what a eunuch is, we talk about that. That can be somebody who's a civil servant or a man who is, amen, Brother Herman Shalom, man. That's somebody who's looking for someone who has made themselves unmarried, not necessarily someone who's been castrated. Does that go back to the Lord know what's? No, I mean not necessarily. It's just some things stirring your. Yes, sir. So, amen, Brother Mark. You be safe. Love you too, man. A lot of times, man, you already stewing on things in your inward man. So peace, Brother Robert. So just like when he say, like, sometimes we don't know what to pray for as we should. You know what I'm saying? And the spirit groan and have deep utterings. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's sometimes there's stuff that's going through your mind and your inward man, and then it start coming to the surface because you're already stewing on it. You know what I'm saying? You're already stewing on it. So depending on what it is, shalom, Eric, man. Yes, sir. So the P10K. So depending on what it is, you know, it's always wise to seek Yahuwah first before you make a move. You know what I'm saying? Some people do that, some people don't. Like the situation you talking about moving, it's best to seek Yahuwah in that first. And sometimes, a lot of times, we be wanting an instant response. Sometimes just go on about your business, and His will to be made manifest when it needs to be made manifest. Sometimes we be wanting confirmation, especially when it's something that we want to do. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's all you can do. But also mainly just on the sign is the word. A lot of stuff we already know what we should do, but we want to go move a particular type of way because we want to hear what we want to hear. But you already know what to do. You just got to do it. Indeed, moving too fast can be the wrong move. That's why you got to pace it out and let the Lord do what He do. But yeah, I put the feast dates on the community tab. They done put these doggone house chats on here, man. That junk, that freaking sucks. But what that is, March the 1st is the observation of Purim. What it is, April the 2nd. April the 1st is the first day for unleavened bread. I don't know if mother. April 1st is the first. The night of April 1st is the Passover, which you know it's all the same. It's the same week. You know what I'm talking about? No, that's the community tab on the YouTube channel. So, yeah, peace, brother Dave. So, yeah, the evening of March the 1st is the first day of Purim. You know, if you want to take them days off, you can. It's not obligatory. You wouldn't be sinning because it's not a mandatory Sabbath or anything of the sort. So, what day March the 1st on? So that means on March the 1st that's going to be a service in the daytime and a service at night. So that means I might start earlier on March the 1st, Saturday, and then we come back that night. That means that's double. And then there'll be a service that Sunday night and probably that Monday night, but we'll see. But definitely that Saturday will be 2. So there's that. So just be advised. I think Muffin will have to. I got to get all that, but I think the numbers are generally the same. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they are. So yeah, for all of them. Yeah, I can't read, but I can put it back in there. So I don't know what they planning on doing. What y'all doing for that? Y'all cooking? Or you grabbing? So they gonna be cooking for Purim here. So there's that.
Because we still trying to feed
You didn't have to say that on camera. But yeah, we're trying to pull something off. Yeah, because then we could probably do that Sunday in the daytime. So yeah, if you got materials that you don't need, that you ain't using, you go ahead and round them up. Things of that sort. Amen, Brother Ernest, man. Praise you, I appreciate that. Shalom, man. So I'll try to mention that again, man. Shalom, Sister Regina. But yeah, that's what we'll try to do for Purim. Well, we already talked about that as a whole. I think you said that was 225. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we should be able to get to 225 for that, and then whatever. What you call them? That sanitary packets, whatever y'all make with that to go along with it. And like I say, if you got garments that you ain't using. Let that be known. If any of y'all got garments that you ain't using and you want to send them, let me know. I'll give you my address. You can mail them to me. You know what I'm saying? I know Tavon done did that before. Brother Robert done did that before. It ain't that hard to put off. But yeah, definitely if we're able to pull that off, we can do that Sunday afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Rock it like that. So, y'all willing? Favorite Bear says, Grandma been having kidney issues. She done called everybody to the house. Say she ready for the Lord to take her home. Yeah. Regular clothes. Any clothes you got, period. Dang, they just found a child in a pond. Unresponsive. My God, today. Yeah, it don't matter what kind of clothes it is. Yeah. Well, shoot, you can bring them with you if you coming down here. So yeah, that's all I got for now. I'll keep y'all abreast of things, and Yahuwah willing, till the next time.